Dallas. It is the 7th matchup in the conference quarterfinals. We have Columbus and Atlanta coming up on Wednesday night. In the previous 6, we can tell you Orlando City victorious. 5 of the home teams won. The only shocker, that big win by Sporting Kansas City last night. Seattle will hope that that tradition continues on. They are confident. We mentioned, Dunny, how both teams have not lost in 9 games. The difference there, Seattle won 4 of those 9. Dallas won 2.
Oh, and I love this new playoff format and the context that it brings and the conversations it invokes. And I think one of the fascinating things is the amount of managers and players that we've spoken to in terms of trying to figure out the right way to approach what these kind of one-off games look like, whether at home or on the road. And I would just simply suggest always remember the chess match between the managers in the second half when you talk about impact players available, whether you need to speed the game up, find a goal, or you need to slow it down and lock a game up.
And we haven't mentioned Nico Lodero. A newsworthy week around him. He is on the bench and available, as is Raul Ruidiaz. To your point, 2 DPs, and Brian Schmetzer well aware of that as that one's played through for Jordan Mars. Emma Tumasi will get there first, play it back to Martin Paz. Our referee is Joe Dickerson, VAR Jorge Gonzalez. Match 2 of this series will be Saturday on November the 4th. November, is it the 10th for the 3rd game, if required. Jordan Mars looking, grabbing the top of his right leg. That one bounces in front of him, and a foul on Morris. Little discomfort on his end, but looks okay.
Max, one of the conversations we had a week ago in St. Louis was this conversation of development, but also opportunity to play. And again, Josh Atencio, the 21-year-old homegrown product, alongside Joao Paulo. And it was a big call because Obed Vargas being called up to the U.S. under-23s. It was going to be probably really easy for Brian Schmetzer to put Obed Vargas back in this starting 11. But based on the performance we saw specifically against St. Louis, Atencio, he's the right man for the job once again alongside Joao Paulo. And then the obvious addition, Nuhu Tolo back in the starting 11. Reed Baker-Whiting dealing with that hamstring injury suffered on the road at St. Louis after he put in a fantastic shift on the road.
We will hope to have Reed Baker-Whiting available perhaps for the 2nd game of this series. Again, that'll be on Saturday. Little heel kick there, attempt by Joao Paulo, doesn't get to it. Jesus Ferreira wiped out of there by Josh Atencio, who is having maybe his best professional year. I don't think it probably is, and playing in an important game here in the postseason and growing into his body. You go down there on the field, solid citizen. This is this man, Jackson Reagan.
Yeah, really interested to see where Albert Rusnak starts to pick his positions, playing underneath Jordan Morris and trying to find that pocket off the shoulder of Paxton Pomykal and Iraramendi. Those 2 central midfield players for FC Dallas are up for a tough challenge tonight with the amount of moving off the ball in the midfield and kind of that triangle presence of the Rave Green.
Jackson Reagan. Here's Nuhu. Rusnak.
That's the pocket.
Leo Chu. Onside Rusnak. Leo Chu from a very good spot. That one's quelled by Alan Velasco. 2nd wave coming in. Joao Paulo. Alex Roldan. Feints off his left boot all the way across, blocked in there by Nkosi Tafarai.
Yeah, really good position taken up by the center back Tafarai, just knowing that he's got to somewhat take away any cutback ball to the penalty area, but at the same time be responsible for any of those balls on his inside left interior near that 6-yard box.
Took a favorable bounce for Yeimar, with Paul Arriola looming. Yeimar part of the finalist list for the Defender of the Year. Jackson Reagan was up there as well. Maybe there was fear that they could split the vote for the Sounders, but Yeimar makes that final list. Stefan Fry not making the goalkeeper finalist despite setting a club record with 14 clean sheets.
Yeah, just a cruel and unusual punishment for one of the best goalkeepers in Major League Soccer. And I agree with you, sometimes overshadowed, not just by his teammates, but also the goalkeepers that he's competing against. But the reality is, I call him Big Game Bob. If there's ever in a big match that you would want a guy with experience in Major League Soccer between the posts, that's Stefan Fry, his 14 clean sheet. Here's the buildup, and that's the pocket that I'm talking about with Albert Rusnak. He's in front of the center backs, but he's just behind the 2 central midfielders. And Leo Chu, the hesitation with that less preferred right foot. So again, slow build-up, methodical build-up. They're very capable of going vertical when needed. But right now, good start in terms of possession, as I say that commentator's curse. But good start of possession, trying to drag out FC Dallas and see if they can find a couple holes in their defensive shape.
Aggressive, using both sides of the field that time. A mishit there by Alex Roldan as you see the series history. They have played often since 2014, 6 meetings in the postseason. Seattle advanced in 4, including the last 3 times they have met. Most recently in 2020. 2019, Jordan Morris a hat trick after extra time. That was a year that they had to squeak by Dallas in the playoffs, and they went on a tear, including beating LAFC in the Western Finals, one of the famous playoff games. The year LAFC rewrote the record book. Christian Roldan, great run, tried to get it across. Initially blocked by Nkosi to far right. The shot comes in from Atencio. It'll be a corner.
Well, it starts as good shape defensively for FC Dallas, but it's the build-up play to this right-hand side, alleviates pressure from Roldan. Alex Roldan gets his head up, finds his brother, perfectly weighted ball in behind. Christian gets his head up, he's looking for that cut ball back across, takes the first deflection, and as Atencio gets his shot off, it's Iaramendi with the block.
João Paulo, crowd really into it. Coming in, Yeimar. It will be a foul against Seattle.
You can see the idea, João Paulo hitting it with his laces, trying to float it up for that man, Yeimar, to get an opportunity. Whether it's zonal or just a hybrid of zonal with isolated marking, you see that ball just set up perfectly, trying to find Yeimar to push back across the face of goal if he can't get a clear, strong header on Martin Paz. As much as I talk about Albert Rusnak finding those little gaps, I say the same for Jesus Ferreira. I think it's actually easier for the Seattle Sounders to deal with Alan Velasco and his movement underneath, but it's the number 10, Jesus Ferreira. He can run you vertical and get up top with that speed and athleticism, but he upsets kind of that midfield rhythm, because moments like this, he can duck back in and give you overloaded with numbers.
Seattle back at it, though, and Dallas will have to defend some more. Rusnak, and it's no surprise to see Seattle with a healthy amount of possession. They are one of the best at it in Major League Soccer, as it comes all the way back for Stefan Frei, covering the width and breadth of the field. He gets it forward in search of Christian Roldan, gets in front of Marco Farfan. Roldan has been fantastic thus far. 5 straight starts to finish the regular season after missing a big chunk of it. Dealing with head trauma. His brother Alex Roldan. He looks good right now, Christian. Looks like those issues are well behind him. Pops it across.
I agree with you. I mean, dealing with a ton of concussions throughout my playing career as well, it's a hidden injury, and it takes more time, and it's not something that you can physically see, so a lot of people just don't understand what you're going through. But thankfully, he was able to get the medical need and advice to help him get back on the field. And I think what we learned, especially through June, July, and August, when the Seattle Sounders really were laboring through some really different and difficult results, that Christian Roldan, I think we all knew how good of a player he was, but I don't think we truly understood how important of a piece of the puzzle he was for Brian Spencer and Seattle Sounders.
Good change of pace by Nuhu, Rusnak, Atencio, Leo Chu. Just part of the fabric of the Seattle team that finished the season so well. So you get Christian Roldan back the last few weeks. The team hasn't lost in 9 games. They are healthy and deep. And even in a year where they felt they left a lot of points here, and they almost were able to pip St. Louis City, the top of the Western Conference.
Yeah, doing so with Jordan Morris as your leading goal scorer with just 11 goals on the season.
So far, right, here is Ariel, should get there first. Yeimar disrupts.
I think it's a big part of the story for both of these managers and both of these teams. For Jesus Ferreira and his 12 goals on the season, Jordan Morris, his 11 goals on the season. And Brian Spencer telling us a week ago, it's not the amount of goals I'm concerned about, it's the timeliness of the goals. Those are the things that matter. How do the reactions look, the taking advantage, the psychology of important goals and important minutes? And I think that's been the struggle this year for both of these teams, to figure out, okay, you don't have one guy that's really scoring 18, 19, 20 goals a season. You've got a couple of really good players but statistically, where are the other goal scorers coming from? In what positions can they create goals?
Neither of these teams hang their hat on scoring a lot of goals. Excellent intercept by Tafari, who played college soccer here at Seattle U. He combines with Ferreira. Tafari back to Ferreira, separates from the defense. He's onside. Back to Tafari. Like Jackson Reagan able to block Velasco. Ferreira, who does so much more than score goals, trying to cross it for O'Brien. Chance now for Dallas as they hem in the Sounders.
Oh, even that last build-up of play, Jesus Ferreira slides all the way out to the left. Ariola's underneath, and O'Brien's come all the way across, and there was a secondary run of Paxton Pomacall. So there's variation in the movement off the ball for FC Dallas that should be a little bit of a concern for Seattle's back line in terms of communication.
Ferreira. Neymar intercepts as he's done so many times this season. Led the league, led MLS in that. Another one. That's his bag, baby. But Dallas have tilted the scales here, at least for the time being.
Yeah, really good press right there. Even when they turn the ball over, immediately trying to press, get the ball higher up the field, and make sure there's no simple outlet for a guy like Neymar to find the ability of Jordan Morris to hold that ball up and see if he can get a few players forward.
Velasco. Ibiaga with some haste. Leo Chu bearing down, controlled by Reagan, just off the toes. Dallas take it back. Alex Roldan on that 50-50, poked from behind by Ariola, and that was an awkward roll that landed on top of Alan Velasco.
Yeah, did Alex Roldan kind of just throw himself into the body of Velasco? I wonder if it was one of those, used to call it a touch tackle, where you get a touch, it kind of gets away from you, and you just make sure that you don't allow the opponent to get away. Take another look at it. Alex Roldan wins the bump, gets away from Paul Ariola. That first touch, second touch comes off Ariola, and you can see Alex Roldan just kind of launches himself into Velasco. Velasco immediately over to the training staff on the FC Dallas bench.
It's been a great start for Seattle, but Dallas now enjoying some moments in front of the Sounders' goal. Velasco's okay, and this was the best of the bunch thus far. Really the only one, but a good one.
Yeah, Tafari, he's got the freedom. As soon as he wins that ball, combination play, he gets forward, looks to get the return. As it comes back, instead of hitting it with the inside of his left, he lets the ball come across his body, hits it with the outside of his right, and it allows Jackson Reagan to get big, strong in that tackle just inside his penalty area.
Not many center backs can make those kind of runs. We'll talk more about Tafari in a moment. For now, a free kick. It is Velasco. O'Brien. Well out of the reach of Leo Chu, gives a look back. Martin Paz, and we talk so much about Stefan Frei. Paz probably was just on the outside of those finalists as well. Had a really good campaign. A little busier than Frei was, requiring to make some more big saves. And when I say that, I don't want to take anything away from Frei, because I compare Frei to the great Claudio Tafarel. You have a great team, as he did back in the 90s of Brazil, where the defense in front of you was so good you didn't have to make many saves. But you better make that big save when it comes up. And Frei, like Tafarel, has done that on his way to 14 clean sheets. And both different skill sets, but both very valuable as goalkeepers.
I think it speaks highly to not only the career he's had for the Seattle Sounders. Remember, Ziggy Schmidt picked him off the backup bench in Toronto after an incredible start to his professional campaign. And what a great servant he's been, not only for the club, but for the community as well. But I think ultimately he's going to be a reference point. He's one of those players that maybe in real time doesn't get the credit he deserves, but then when you start thinking about the history of really incredibly successful goalkeepers in Major League Soccer, I think it's impossible not to reference Stefan Frei in that conversation.
37 years of age. He looks like he can keep going for multiple more seasons. We asked him about that. He goes, I feel good. I take good care of it, of my body.
Yeah, as we were talking about Christian Roldan being back, we got to say the same about Paxton Pomacall. Look at the stat lines right there. Incredible.
He almost had the MLS record. You see Tony Meola 2 away.
Meat hands Meola. Talk about the Wreck-It Ralph hands.
Wreck-It Ralph's a better nickname. Morris played back for Rusnak. Tafari, classy.
And go back to my point about Paxton Pomykal. It's great to see him back tonight. His 25th appearance in Major League Soccer matches this season. And for a guy whose trajectory was off the charts as a teenager heading into his early 20s after dealing with that hip injury, but great to see him back. But obvious concern with Alan Velasco going down, and immediately Liam Frazier and a couple other players are being sent to warm up.
And he's emotionally drawn right now, Alan Velasco. That must have been from the rollover effect from Alex Roldan, and then the pain threshold hit him, and he is in tears.
Well, the challenge for Alan Velasco, whether he was out wide left or sitting underneath in more of a playmaker role, statistically just 4 goals, 4 assists, and 28 matches played. But here's the challenge: comes across some hits, and thankfully his feet weren't completely planted, but you can see as he just kind of walks over and collapses, kind of the indication to the bench is that maybe he's done for the evening, which would be a huge blow for FC Dallas, especially with the amount of injuries that they have suffered this season. Good news, though, Kamungo as well as Sebastian Lletget are healthy enough to make the bench for FC Dallas tonight.
And if there is a change, we'll tell you a lot of the designs by Nico Estevez, but just the optics of this suggests that a substitution is going to happen. We hope for the best.
Yeah.
And we spoke with him early.
Right there. Get him.
Early September. He was listing off all the injuries of players. It's going to be Frazier.
Yeah.
And you were thinking, how are you possibly going to make the playoffs with this long list of guys that you can't lean into? Well, he did. And now they're getting healthy. But this sport is...
Well, I think you and I were doing this exact matchup down in Dallas when it was the night before they were finishing their set pieces in their corners, and Sebastian Lletget pulled up with that hamstring injury. And that was on top of early in the week with Giovanni Jesus, who had been called into the Brazilian U23 group and tore his ACL the following day. And now whether you're talking about Jose Martinez, you're talking about Facundo Quignon, and now you're talking about Alan Velasco. I mean, I guess the one positive in this moment is that this FC Dallas team really does understand what the next man up mentality has to be, because they've lost so many players to injury over the course of the summer.
No matter who you support or if you're a neutral, to see those images, heartbreaking for Alan Velasco, who has had a good season. He has all the promises. We mentioned the #1 in the 22 under 22 list from MLS. Oodles of talent, eyeballs on him for many big clubs. This was a chance to showcase that. Atencio! Rusnak! Leo Chu! Talk about putting your foot on the pedal right out of that last stoppage.
Yeah, and almost an exact replica of the buildup of the goal scored at St. Louis.
Atencio! Paz. We're off and running, folks.
They almost had the assist and almost scored an incredible goal. Here's the first buildup in the offensive phase of play. It's a late run out of midfield. Atencio gets away from Iaramendi as he cuts this ball back, similar to what we saw in St. Louis. Albert Rusnak uncontested. This time it was a blocked shot, but look at his touch. You can see exactly what the 21-year-old homegrown product was trying to do. Up and over his shoulder, sightlined it perfect, and the outside of his right foot trying to just chip Martin Paz with a delicate touch up and over.
It's been physical out there, and it's a cold evening. As I say that, Nico Estevez takes off his jacket. But I mean, we're going to be into the mid-30s at some point this evening. And this is an FC Dallas team. It's cold in Dallas right now, but they played in games in the triple digits, 110, just a few weeks ago, as we see the departure of Alan Velasco.
You're taking a look, and Alex Roldan, the initial ball, as he comes across, just the hands up and catches Paul Arriola right in front of the FC Dallas bench. Listen, I think what we've seen from the opening whistle is an FC Dallas team that has the same sense of urgency, the same sense of fear, and that 4-1 win on the road at LA Galaxy. On the night, they knew there was a threat of missing out on the playoffs. They showed up, they performed, they scored 4 goals, and now they have the self-belief of coming up here and getting the required result that potentially puts them in a position to walk away with the win. Again, I know you already pointed it out, but both matches, home and away this season, 1-1 draws between these two teams. They do a lot of things in a very similar manner, and yet at the same time, there's a lot of tweaks and nuances of the way that these two teams and their managers interpret how they want to play.
20 minutes in, no score here at Lumen Field. Monday Night Football here for the Sounders. Sunday, Seahawks were here. Seahawks playing great. So you walk around Seattle, as we tend to do here on our visits. I turn on my KEXP, best radio station in North America. And you also could, it's not a sports station, just a little music, but you talk some sports around here. Everyone very excited about the landscape. This game on Monday, so it's been heavy usage for Lumen Field. Big break here for Nuhu.
On that last build-up, I think good management by a referee tonight, Joe Dickerson. A little bit of maliciousness, starting to feel the intensity of this match, especially after the injury to Alan Velasco. That last challenge on Areola near the sideline. Areola comes back and hip checks Yamar on his possession pass out of the defense. It'll be interesting to see the continued evolution in management from the referee, but also from the players, as this game continues to get just a little bit spicier.
It's feeling that Nuhu wins that 50-50.
That's Nuhu in the playoffs. You know you're going to get something special.
Good Joe Dickerson, who officiated one of the Mexico games in that October window, getting more and more international duty, as many MLS referees are. Atencio. Fills in that void of Nuhu. Jackson Reagan.
Yeah, and interested to see kind of the evolution of the switch of Velasco going out. Will it be Otamendi playing a little bit higher? Paxton Pomykal giving a little bit more freedom when the ball's on the right-hand side in the build-up of play. Frazier's more of a stay-at-home kind of balance guy. It's almost as if the three now are just playing a flat three, that they've adjusted to a 4-3-3 as opposed to a 4-2-3-1.
That was not in the original plans. This is what comes in for Jesus Ferreira. There's that big save from Fry. A little sidewinder from Pomykal. Dallas should probably be celebrating their first goal. Head into hands by Jesus Ferreira. Now Reagan's dealing with an injury. It's all happening here at Lumen.
Oh, the build-up and methodical build-up out of the back of ball into the midfield. Great step from Paxton Pomykal. First time ball played in through. Jesus Ferreira, big save from Stefan Fry. That's a great step. Good early pass, and Ferreira looking 1v1. Good save. And then the initial sidewinder just catching Jackson Reagan in the nether regions.
Reagan saw the play. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Hello, doctor. He's okay. Just needs a couple of moments.
But again, when you're trying to build up out of the back, you got to be very mindful when you're playing a ball into that midfield position of where the press behind is coming. And Atencio just got his pocket picked. I'm not sure I think he checked sightline first where Pomykal was. Pomykal read it really, really well. And then that's the fear of having Jesus Ferreira up top, because he's got that verticality to find the seams, as well as kind of that link-up play. That he did a good job showcasing his ability to kind of pull into space. But again, what a fantastic save for Stefan Fry.
Good activity by FC Dallas. Wanted to ask you this, Dunny, as it slips through for Yaramendi. Farfan. Mars intercepts off the Spaniard's foot. Rusnak's in the middle. Morris goes it to Farai. Pomykal disrupts. Reset with Atencio. João Paulo. Lovely little flick. Christian Roldan. Rusnak. Leo Chu. Couple of Janilson step overs. Rusnak. Dallas responding though. Alex Roldan. Everyone very high up with the exception of Jackson Reagan. Diagonal pass, João Paulo. So good. All the way through. Ibiaga. João Paulo off the left foot. And after Stefan Fry made a save at one end, it's Paz at the other, although there was an offside in front of the Paz goal.
No matter offside, onside, the reality is that there's so much movement off the ball with the continued presence of width for Seattle that the variation of service is causing a bit of havoc for FC Dallas in the defensive phase of play. Good strong push to the left-hand side from Paz.
Not sure why he was offside. There was a player obstructing the view who would appear on Martin Paz.
Well, they lose out on the corner, but if the ball would have hit the back of the net, we would have had the opportunity for VAR tonight, Jorge Gonzalez, to take a look.
Water under the bridge at this point. Let me get back to what I wanted to ask you. Were you surprised that Paxton Pomykal was in the starting 11? As we'll take a look at that last play. And
okay. So being flagged in an offside position is going to be Christian Roldan, obstructing the view of the goalkeeper, Martin Paz. That is the correct call.
Were you surprised that Pomykal was in the 11? Now that Frazier's in there, it takes some more of a defensive stat because Alan Velasco's out.
No, I'm not surprised because I think Paxton Pomykal does something different than all of the other midfielders. And he brings just that cultured wand of a left foot. He's very attack-minded, but he's got the due diligence and the work rate to defensively hold strong in that midfield. But also Quignon not being available.
That's right.
I think if Quignon's available, then there's maybe an argument or a conversation of who's the best partner for Iatamendi from the opening whistle on the road on artificial surface.
And Pomykal's been playing great, but the rule of thumb maybe is, hey, you're on the road, you want to play a defensive game. That's what many people would expect from Dallas. As it spilt, O'Brien, Ferreira, good first touch, but not a good second one.
Well, keep in mind, his last goal was September 20th on the road at Real Salt Lake, and those are two glorious chances for Jesus Ferreira. He's in an onside position. That is a perfectly weighted ball in hesitation.
Another poke by Pomykal.
Yeah, O'Brien sets it up perfectly. It's taken a bounce as he takes that touch with the outside of his right. You can see the idea. He opens up his hips. He's trying to just place it a little bit higher off the left shoulder of Stefan Frei. But you can see the frustration. Those are two really good chances for FC Dallas on the road.
And for Club and Country, that may be the criticism on Jesus Ferreira as he doesn't take those chances. In his defense, he gets himself in position to get those chances time and time again. And he goes for volume. But he's still thinking about it. And now two great opportunities for Dallas, the two best of the game, to take the lead. There is nothing defensive about their effort thus far.
Well, again, in round one, a best of three in the match day one. I think there's also a conversation to be had for coaching staffs as they discuss what their priorities are. Do they want to be defensive minded? Yes, they want to be defensively stout, but they want to keep the game in front of them and not get pinned back. I would suggest, because there's not an aggregate scoreline conversation over the course of the potential 3 games, that you can be a little bit more aggressive. You don't have to, in context of the match, just think, well, we've got to hold on to the result here. You can actually fight your way back into games.
Rusnak hits Morris. Been a very entertaining, I think more entertaining than we thought we would be getting, even though there hasn't been a goal thus far. Still have one more series to go. It'll come up on Wednesday as Columbus hosts Atlanta, game 1 of their round 1 series on MLS Season Pass. Coverage begins at 7:15 Eastern. We spoke to Brian Schmetzer earlier in the week, and I said, obviously you have the Seahawks game on Sunday. Did you have a preference on when to play? And he said, well, Monday made sense. Tuesday, a lot of the dads want to be with their kids on Halloween.
Yep.
There were no games on Halloween, and I immediately thought of that conversation because all these players from all the MLS teams, the dads, and many who have young kids get to spend Halloween with the youngins, and that puts a smile on my face. Those are special evenings. Enjoy the trick-or-treating with the kids when you can. And happy Halloween, everyone. Here comes Frei, big hop.
I think for Seattle Sounders, we've seen Nuhu and Leo Chu on that left-hand side, and exciting and really expansive. Two players that love to get forward, but they've been pretty pragmatic at times defensively, recognizing that they have to have the right shape and balance. So far for Jordan Morris and his verticality, that's been on show on a couple different occasions, but with Albert Rusnak and Christian Roldan kind of operating either underneath or just inverting with their movement off the ball, how much more involved can they be in that final third?
Another turnover by the Sounders. This time Ferreira with the cross for O'Brien. Nuhu with a deadline run.
Again, especially with the loss of Alan Velasco being subbed off in the 18th minute, I think there's even more pressure on Iatamendi because of his experience and the ability to lean on the former Real Madrid and Real Sociedad player Iatamendi with his technique, his control, his vision. I think he brings a great element. Such a fantastic addition in the summer transfer window for FC Dallas.
Seattle with a possession edge. They're with 65% of the ball thus far. Here at the half-hour mark, both teams with one shot on target. Does not include, obviously, the Ferreira shot that went over. He didn't score on decision day when FC Dallas thumped the LA Galaxy. He did get 4 shots, did have an assist. So he's been really active, but they really want to see him able to convert in front. Victory over the Galaxy in a 9-game unbeaten streak. Both wins were away, so giving him a lot of confidence here.
Look at Nuhu. He's got his arms up, Joe Dickerson. That's what Nuhu's doing. He had his arms wide.
Nuhu's got a wingspan, by the way.
Yeah, he's got his arms around Tafari, and basically for Tafari, can't get out of his grasp either left or right. He's trying to keep arms around him just to make sure he doesn't get a free run at the ball.
Tafari trying to get loose. May have been that target. They'll get a second corner here.
That's part of the game that Nico Estevez was telling us. FC Dallas much better this year on set pieces and corners, and even more importantly, recycling the ball after winning the initial clearance by the opponent.
Ferreira to the back for Ibeagha. Tafari turns nicely on it. But Fry locates, makes the save. Good booming punt by Fry. Pamakal's been lights out thus far tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of apologies right now for Liam Frazier off the ball with Sebastian Ibeagha. He took the ball right off the potential of a first-time shot, uncontested from Ibeagha, just outside the penalty spot for FC Dallas.
Yeman.
Good block defending from FC Dallas.
A press now from Ferreira and O'Brien.
You can see the idea for FC Dallas. Ferreira spearheads the attack, but he's also one of the linchpins on the press. And whether on the left or the right, the responsibility of either O'Brien or Paul Arioli. Right there you can see Jesus Ferreira's right hand, but no immediate pressure on the ball, and they're afraid to be played through the midfield. That's why they start to progressively drop just a little bit deeper.
Leo Chu. Seattle have went over 200 passes on the night. Ran out of real estate. Tumasi defending.
Great speed between those two players in that matchup, Leo Chu and Emma Tumasi. It's a challenge for the 26-year-old right back, and the continued evolution of Emma Tumasi includes offensively variation of service and that quality of service. We know what he's capable of defensively, but once they get into that offensive phase of play and he becomes an option overlapping down that right-hand side, how is the quality and the consistency of his service continue to grow as he gets more and more experience in that position?
An injury, Giovanni Jesus affording that opportunity for Tumasi to come in, be the guy. Touch. Atencio into the blind spot of Jordan Morris. João Paulo. Time and space for Christian Roldan. Tafari. A little desperate here in the defending as O'Brien finally able to get in front of it. The whistle ends up with Paul Arriola wearing the captain's armband. So smooth, Asier Isharamendi.
You touch on O'Brien there for a second. You know, you go back to the second week of September when all the injuries really started to pile up right around the same time for FC Dallas. And O'Brien was on the outside looking in. He wasn't a guy that was being relied on from the opening whistle. Oh, heavy challenge from behind.
Get the call. Some concern from FC Dallas with the intensity of these challenges.
O'Brien got his opportunity and ended up rattling off a couple of really important game-winning goals, as well as a couple important of assists. You see Yeimar comes through the back left shoulder of O'Brien. Correct decision from the referee, Joe Dickerson, and a set-piece opportunity where the initial line of defending is about 2 yards outside of their penalty area.
Yeimar and O'Brien, two of the members of the large Colombiano community in Major League Soccer. Jesus Ferreira in that community as well. Yeimar heads away. Tumasi.
Look at the commitment right here.
A great point about O'Brien, and you look at this Dallas 11 here in this playoff game. And you have Tumasi and O'Brien, two guys that they did not expect but had to fill in because of injuries and other things. Rusnak lets it sail. Cleared by Farfan, who has cemented himself as one of the better left backs in Major League Soccer. 31 starts in the regular season for Marco Farfan. Too much space for Atencio. Time to turn. João Paulo. That one on the deck.
Well, again, you just go back to that last press where Josh Atencio wins the ball. Could have gone out of bounds. He knocks it all the way back up and over. The initial header won. Here's the opportunity from João Paulo from distance. We've seen his ability to test goalkeepers. That one didn't catch it as clean, but Seattle doing a good job of trying to compete for the first ball, and maybe more importantly, Max Barretos winning a lot of these second balls in the midfield third.
Tafari. He had to win that position, and this season 3 center backs in competition for FC Dallas, the 2 starting today. And then Jose Martinez.
Yeah, and you just wonder, from a conversation standpoint for FC Dallas, the importance of being able to bring Sebastian Ibeagha over as a free agent, and the continued evolution of Tafari, especially with Jose Martinez. Listen, when Jose Martinez is 100% fit, you think he's an absolute starter for FC Dallas, but the reality is at this stage, maybe he's not. And I think that's been one of the reasons why we've seen Tafari get not only his opportunities, but able to hold on to his place, even in circumstances where he's made mistakes. I think he's a really talented young center back, but what's that next step, and what does that ceiling look for Tafari in terms of consistency? Consistency and dominance of the position, not only with the defensive side, but winning his headers, keeping possession, playing out of pressure. He's a really talented, dynamic center back.
Consistency, the key word when you talk to Nico Esteves. Here's Ibeagha. Some nervous moments here, Dallas defending. Seattle once again with their hands on the pump. That arm extended by Liam Fraser right in front of the Sounders bench. Everybody up. Joe Dickerson said, I got it. I don't think he called the foul.
Well, AR on the near side doesn't raise his flag. Nima Sagafi, the 4th official, is in the mix as well. That's a heavy challenge and an extension. And for Roldan, it's the way that I don't think there's any malicious intent whatsoever. But it doesn't negate the fact that Alex Roldan gets blindsided with that arm and quote-unquote that elbow in an area that really infuriated the bench of the Seattle Sounders.
Well, they don't get their way, but that's the reaction you want to see from the Sounders bench.
Yeah, again, it's getting spicier. And I think Joe Dickerson has done a really good job in the management with and without the whistle so far tonight.
Couple good passes here for O'Brien. Tumasi gets to go forward. Paxton Pomykal, 23-year-olds, been with the club since 2016. We're going to talk about it a little bit later in the game, about these 2 incredible homegrowns and these academies from these 2 clubs and how they do things a little differently. Nuhu try to thread that through the eye of the needle. Ibeagha, possible angle.
Yeah, I am intrigued when we come back to that conversation at some point.
Stick around, it's going to be a good one.
The idea to develop to sell versus the idea to develop to play.
Speak amongst yourselves, but we'll revisit that topic in the second half. But it's really interesting how these 2 teams do it. Both do it in the right ways.
Very successful.
Both very successful, just a different outlook. Still no score here, approaching the 40th minute at Lumen Field. Best of 3 playoff format. Match number 1. Tafari hasty there. There was no pressure on him, and that's what Mark Paz is telling him.
Well, it's not just that. It's the lack of quality on the clearance. That needs to be hooked back towards midfield as opposed to being just pushed right back through the traffic.
No harm done, but Seattle's still there. Leo Chu, diagonal run. Alex Roldan to his left boot. Oh, what a save by Paz! Big time.
Oh, when you watch this replay, when we get the opportunity, just watch the shape of Alex Roldan.
Oh, back in front, Christian Roldan. Roldanapalooza.
Oh, watch the initial shape. By the way, great body right there from Leo Chu. Comes into Jordan Morris. He holds it up well. Chu can't get the shot off. As the ball comes across, it's that shape. He opens up his hips, brings it back across his body. Big save from Paz. And then Christian Roldan unmarked. He's trying that push header, far post, side net. And it's covered by Paz. Good buildup, and for FC Dallas, really thankful they don't give up a goal with less than 5 minutes remaining in the half.
The 3 finalists for goalkeeper of the year: Roman Burki, probably going to win it. Roman Celentano of FC Cincinnati with this incredible year. And all 3 are deserving to be there. And Pedro Galese in Orlando, who won with a clean sheet. These 2 guys certainly deserving to be on that podium as well. Good year for goalkeepers. Down goes Leo Chu.
Oh, Leo Chu knows exactly what he's doing right there from that angle. He's trying to convince Joe Dickerson, the referee, that there's some type of contact either inside or just outside the FC Dallas penalty area. Again, the game within the game, and there's subtle manipulation in moments, and Leo Chu recognized because of Emma Tuamasi, he's stretched out on the big switch. Watch this. Leo Chu comes across, takes a slight little touch, throws his hands up, pulls up the landing gear to see if he could bait Joe Dickerson into a call in his favor.
Everyone on their feet here at Lumen Field, entertained by this game as Christian Roldan goes shoulder to shoulder with Marco Farfan. It's a big crowd here. Christian Roldan goes down. All eyes, it's a penalty. Joe Dickerson thought about it. This time the Sounders get their way. And it's the man who has made the difference down the stretch, Christian Roldan. But FC Dallas will not go quietly. This is big.
Oh, you take another look, and it's a quick throw up and over the top. As Farfan gets spun around, he's isolated 1v1. He gets inside. Yep, there's contact. There's contact. Watch the left foot on the left foot. The touch, he's inside right there. But not enough of a touch for the ball to be pushed out of play. So the question for Jorge Gonzalez, when he looks at this, is there a clear and obvious mistake? Farfan was really close to getting a better touch on the ball, but most certainly got contact with the outside of the left foot of Christian Roldan. A penalty confirmed by Jorge Gonzalez. And it looks as if Albert Rusnak is going to be the player that's going to get the opportunity to give the Seattle Sounders the lead from the penalty spot in the 43rd, 44th minute.
Albert Rusnak with 5 goals in the regular season. All 5 were of the game-winning variety. Hoping if he converts here that this would be number 6. 43rd minute, Albert Rusnak! Paz got a piece of it, but not enough. And the Sounders, who are so good when they take the lead, have taken the lead. 1-0, Albert Rusnak.
Well, it starts with an early throw in up and over the top. Alex Roldan finds Christian Roldan. Farfan, he's trying to isolate him right there. Comes across the body, sticks out the leg. Referee points the spot. Rusnak, really strong penalty. That is a really close save right there from Paz. He gets the touch, hits the inside of the left post. Great stuff from Paz. 2 hands to the head because he knows how close he was to saving that penalty by Albert Rusnak. His goal, 43rd minute, giving the Seattle Sounders a 1-0 lead over FC Dallas here at Lumen Field.
Liam Frazier. We'll see how aggressive Dallas gets. Seattle Sounders had 1 penalty kick. 1 during the regular season. It was Nico Lodeiro who took it, and he would have taken it if he was in the 11 here. He wasn't. Albert Rusnak gets his first penalty and his first conversion. FC Dallas had 1 penalty. Both those teams probably have had some chit-chats along the way with Pro about, hey, what's going on here?
Right, every time you say that, no Nico Lodeiro, no Raul Rui Diaz. In years past, we wouldn't be talking about the Seattle Sounders with any hope of making it to the late rounds of the Western Conference playoff race. And times are changing, much like they did with Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey. I think we're about to see the changing in the guard, and it's obvious with the lack of minutes from the opening whistle where Brian Smetzer sees his team and how he wants his team to play without Nico Lodeiro and Raul Rui Diaz in that starting 11. Not to say they still won't have big roles in this playoff race, in this hunt for Seattle, but clear indication of how Schmetzer identifies his group of players.
Look out, Leo Chu, Jordan Morris into position, Tafari pivots it away, still a threat here for the Sounders. Rusnak, Chu offside.
How many times in this first half have we seen FC Dallas able to clear their lines with that first ball but not maintain possession in that midfield third with that second challenge?
Living dangerously. Fight and win.
And the frustrating thing for FC Dallas fans, they'll probably be thinking it's a really soft foul that led to the penalty. And that's the cruel life of outside backs when they're isolated 1v1. The moment that that ball gets pushed past them and they're inside the penalty area defensively, they got to be really sure with their challenges. And unfortunately for Farfan, it was the touch that leads to that penalty call. And now you see a little bit more discontent as we're about to hit the halftime break. Yamar getting frustrated that he was judged to a foul. Areola coming through, and you've got size in favor, but probably a disadvantage when going up and trying to win that aerial challenge against Areola.
No yellow cards thus far. We do have that penalty though. Free kick, Jesus Ferreira, pretty deep. We're into the second minute of 4 allotted, a minimum of 4 here in the first half. Seattle Sounders in the regular season 12-1-4 when scoring first. And a reminder, if Dallas are able to pull level here, we would go directly to penalties. We haven't seen penalties in these conference quarterfinals yet. We did have that one in the wild card game between Sporting and San Jose.
You know, back to the conversation we had with Brian Schmetzer, it's not necessarily the amount of goals I'm worried about, it's the timeliness of goals that we need. And just shows you the fine margins, right? Jesus Ferreira, this man on the ball, had 2 glorious opportunities. A big save from Stefan Fry, and then the next one up and over. I mean, those 2 goals completely changed the outlook of a match. That's a heavy challenge right there from Ferreira.
Morris on that inside track against Farfan, lifted up. It's over the head of Paz. Tomasi can't avoid converting.
I'm interested to see if we see our first yellow, and we are going to see our first yellow. It's going to be Jesus Ferreira for that challenge on Christian Roldan right in front of Brian Schmetzer's bench.
Quick update on Alan Velasco, a left knee contusion, so that at least it's nothing structural. We'll get more details ahead of game 2, and that is firm from Ferreira.
Yeah, no attempt to play the ball. He drops the shoulder into Alex Roldan, and the right decision for the referee. First yellow card shown by Joe Dickerson tonight. There's been some afters, a little bit extra, some of these challenges.
Snuck, Idiaga, volley attempt, but he was lining up one with João Paulo. So efficient, João Paulo, that one will eventually go out of play. You will be suspended if you pick up 3 cards prior to the conference final in these MLS Cup playoffs, so it'd be hard to miss a game if you are able to progress that far. Maybe it's going to be a little more challenging for the wild card teams, and Sporting Kansas City is the one you would certainly think of if you get a yellow card because they had the extra game. But really, if you do the math, it would require almost a yellow in each game to miss out down the road. So it is a player-friendly rule.
When you start to think about the options on the bench for Nico Estevez and FC Dallas, and the good news, Kamungo was able to recover and train after dealing with that ankle injury following the 4-1 win against LA Galaxy. Sebastian Lletget is back. Dante Sealy is available. Jesus Jimenez is available. Even Eugene Ansa available. So plenty of attack-minded players available in this second 45 minutes for FC Dallas to turn to win or if needed.
Kamunga, who scored 2 goals on decision day, but picked up the injury, and there was concern with the turf because he was dealing with an ankle injury. But he joined the team here. He's on the bench.
Yeah, which is great news after the season that FC Dallas has had with regards to injuries. I think everyone was holding their breath, hoping that he was going to be able to be available for this series.
Incredible story. We'll get into that more so if he enters the fray here. It's over the head of Tafari. We're about to hit those 4 minutes. O'Brien. And that is the end of a entertaining, high-paced first 45 minutes. Seattle have the lead.
FC Dallas had a couple of really good chances, and it's about those fine moments, those fine margins, and to concede a goal with 2 minutes remaining in the first half is a killer, especially from the penalty spot. What adjustments are made with and without going to the bench for both of these managers?
Seattle hoping to stay chalk on this side with the 2 seed, and it's Albert Rusnak from the penalty spot, squeaking it in on that post. Much more MLS Cup playoffs on MLS Season Pass, Apple TV.
Hey, how are you?
I made this.
Fee-free overdrafts. Early payday. Easy credit building. When your money's good, you feel good.
Don't be afraid to catch fish.
Chime, the #1 most loved banking app.
Your first home sees a lot of firsts. From first loves to first steps. Sure, it can be a handful at times, keeping you up at night.
Come on now.
But with help from the Home Depot,
Thank you very much.
you'll find the confidence to create the first place you call your own. The Home Depot, how doers get more.
It's not just designed to look good. It's built to command attention. It's not just a comfortable interior. It's a quiet refuge. They're not just headlights. They light the way forward. The new fully electric Audi Q8 e-tron models.
Welcome to the Halftime Report presented by Audi. Yeah, everyone's getting ready for Halloween. What a better, greater day here in Seattle to do it Sunday, Monday with your favorite sport team. Seattle inching towards perhaps the next round, a long way to go. Let's take a look at the highlights. This was a really high-paced, high-powered first half with some good chances at both ends.
Yeah, Alan Velasco injured in this challenge. Alex Rodon kind of throws himself into the body of the number 20. He tried to continue and then ended up going down a few minutes later, exited the match in the 17th minute with Liam Fraser, the Canadian international, replacing him. But great press, great step. Paxton Pomykal finds Jesus Ferreira, 1v1, big save by Stephen Fry in the 23rd minute. But then another press, Paxton Pomykal comes underneath, O'Brien, hesitation, plays Ferreira in. Ball takes a slight little bounce, he opens up, you can see the idea. He's trying to pick out that upper left-hand corner. Alex Roldan had a shot, big save, bear claw down to his right-hand side. Martin Paz. Header by Alex Roldan seconds later, but quick throw up and over. Farfan spins around, isolated, recovers well. Watch left foot on left foot right there. If he gets through the ball and that ball goes over the inline, it's much more difficult. Referee points to the spot. VAR holds on. He gets a touch, Paz pushes it off the right post and finds the back of the net. Albert Rusnak gives Seattle the 1-0 lead in the 43rd minute.
Big numbers put up in those 45 minutes. There's 11 shots to 6. 5 on target for the Sounders in Dallas for the lack of possession that they had, 73%. But look at those expected goal numbers.
Yeah, XG most certainly in the conversation. We can talk about possession and percentage. We can talk about total numbers of passes, but the eyeball test, the visual markers suggest that Seattle, in transition, good opportunities. How does FC Dallas have a little bit more of the ball in the attacking phase of play, a little bit more variation of service?
Top scores for each team presented by Audi, the official vehicle of Major League Soccer. And these are the top scores there. Jesus Ferreira and Jordan Morris leading the way. But you see, Bernard Kamungo could be a guy that could feature here, if not tonight, sometime in the series.
Timely goals, as Brian Smetzer and Nico Estevez were talking about in those important moments. How do they separate from the opponent and, most importantly, punish mistakes of their opponents? We know Jesus Ferreira and Jordan Morris so far this season have the most goals for each of their respective teams.
And for every goal scored during the Audi MLS Cup playoffs, Audi will contribute $2,000 to support MLS academies through the Goals Drive Progress Initiative. Messi Meets America coming your way. Join the legend, the 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, Leo Messi, won another one today as he embarks on his historic next chapter with Apple TV Plus's new documentary series, Messi Meets America. Follow Messi's journey as he takes North America and Major League Soccer by storm, ushering in a new era with his Inter Miami teammates. The series is streaming now only on Apple TV Plus. More episodes are coming November the 1st. Yeah, we have a Ballon d'Or winner in MLS. Reason to cheer for the Sounder fans. Will they be able to finish the job? Get closer to the second half kick next.
It's free.
It is for our Economy Ultimate passengers who paid extra.
I'll just have water.
Okay, cash or card.
For water?
Well, at AT&T, when we offer you our best iPhone deals, we guarantee it. Even on the new iPhone 15 Pro. Check it out, made with titanium.
We do have free movies with the purchase of headphones.
I'll just use my iPhone.
Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on any iPhone with any popular plan. Guaranteed. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters.
Travis, did you know you can get this season's COVID-19 shot when you get your flu shot?
Two things at once.
Two things at once!
Two things at once!
I'll have the 2 things at once, please.
Now back to 2 things at once.
2 things at once.
That's not 2 things at once.
Mom!
Travis, ask about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
How will I know where to start? Striving for more isn't just for the field, it's for life. Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Welcome back to the Halftime Report presented by Audi. We are here at Lumen Field, Game 1, and I would imagine, even though this is a new playoff format, whoever wins Game 1 in much better position to advance. So what does the bracket look like in the West? Well, I'll tell you this. LAFC put their foot down. You called this game.
Picking up 4 goals off set pieces or corners. LAFC getting 2 goals from Ryan Hollingshead and this man, Denny Bawanga. Talk about in form, MLS Golden Boot winner, but just falling asleep in important moments. And LAFC able to capitalize on multiple fronts. So that is a big 5-2 win at home.
Matt Doyle on Twitter saying Ryan Hollingshead, the best player never capped by the U.S. men's national team. Houston RSL hotly contested. How good has this man been? Ache.
Yeah, he might not be up for MVP, but he most certainly is a huge acquisition. What about Moon Boy? Diego Luna leveling the scoreline, the 54th, but Amin Bassi, 10 minutes to go, pops up in a dangerous spot, gets away from Ojeda, and gets the game winner for Houston.
So it's all going to form, Dunny. You got the 2 seed winning here, the 3 seed winning, the 4 seed. What about the 1 seed?
Yeah, the best team in the Western Conference over the regular season, St. Louis City SC. This is a lot of goals to give up in the last 3 matches. Some serious concern for Bradley Carnell. On the flip side, Peter Vermes is Sporting Kansas City, spiking at the right moments, getting so many goals from so many different goal scorers. And Gary Kinda
is the best one.
39th minute. Oh, I'm not sure how many people have that on their bingo card, but Sporting Kansas City, statement of intent in the Western Conference playoff race.
We love Dunny. He still plays bingo every Sunday when he's not on the call on MLS Season Pass.
Facts.
I mean, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but there's some mouth-watering matchups. The idea of LAFC and Seattle playing here in a one-off in the conference semi would be electric. But everyone's still in it, including the top seed, St. Louis, as we also look at the East. There will be a game on Wednesday. Columbus score a ton of goals, and they will be at home in beautiful lower.com. Wilfred Nancy. They will face an Atlanta team that's had some incredible moments.
Well, think about it. They move on from Zelarayan whether they wanted to or not. Diego Rossi, Cucho scoring goals left and right. Had it not been for Lionel Messi and company in Inter Miami, is it easy or reasonable to say that Atlanta United might have had one of the best transfer windows to date? This is going to be a fantastic matchup. Two great managers, two great teams, and really intrigued to see how they manage this series, both at home and away. The artificial surface could have a conversation in this piece, but Giacomakis, what a signing. Talk about presence, goal-scoring ability. Fantastic player for Atlanta United.
That 9 and that 10, Giacomakis and Almada.
And no Almada in game one because of the red card that he picked up, so even more pressure, but everything seemingly be heading in the right direction for Atlanta United.
Two teams you feel can make a big run. We all know about the great musical history in Seattle, and maybe the patriarch, Jimi Hendrix, and the beautiful statue here. Little purple haze, never hurt nobody. Second half is next.
Finding the right hotel just got easier. Compare and book on the app with Hotels.com.
It's not just designed to look good. It's built to command attention. Prime models.
Hi, it's Major League Soccer. No, you're looking for Beckham. I'm Beck, Noah Beck.
All right, team, it's the marketing plan for 2023.
Hey everyone, sorry I'm late. So I have this great idea. What do we think? Hi, it's Major League Soccer. Oh, hi, Mr. Messi. Yeah, please hold. Yeah, what's up? Hi, it's MLS.
If working hard is essential to get where you want to be, you need something that gets you going and keeps you going on the path to your true potential. You need a spotter, a running mate, a loyal companion. You need Celsius. Every drop is essential. Celsius, essential energy.
We are back getting ready for the second half. There is the famous Space Needle built for the 1962 World's Fair, which drew a ton of visitors here in Seattle, looming above everyone here in the Emerald City and Lumen Fields. This is the supporter cam brought to you by Hotels.com. Find your perfect summer on the Hotels.com app. The march to the match started from the beginning, and it remains a big part of every Sounders home match.
Well, you always know anytime you come to Lumen Field, you get the atmosphere, you get kind of that thunderclap approach right before the start of the game. But by the way, not for nothing, 50th anniversary, brand new evolution with the crest, the 1974 Space Needle, the Orca looking hot. Doing some great things up here in Seattle. Brand new training facility, grass just got laid. They think they could get in maybe January, maybe February. A lot of investment in the Seattle Sounders.
Incredible city. If you ever get the chance to visit Seattle, there is so much to do. The Elliott Bay right there, and you can take a ferry, short or long trip to Canada, you name it. Take a what are those things called? The big boats, cruise line. Take it to Alaska. Great food, great things to do. No one will tell you more than Brian Schmetzer. He's just loving this time of year, fall here in Seattle. Nico Estevez got Dallas to the playoffs. They won a series via penalties. We'll see if that is something that comes back into view, if Dallas can come back from the goal deficit. We're underway, half number 2, FC Dallas in white. My name is Max Bretos, alongside Brian Duntsev, a.k.a. Dunny. Glad you could join us for the MLS Cup playoffs. It's going to be a wild ride. Several twists and turns, and perhaps one of those or two of those lie ahead in these next 45 minutes. No changes for either team. A reminder that Alan Velasco with a leg contusion had to be replaced by Liam Frazier in half number 1. Another Firm challenge there by the Sounders.
Intrigued to see what the level of press and containment looks like for both of these teams to start the second half. And we've seen if the opportunity is there to win the ball, both teams more than capable of trying to apply that front three press, if you will, that kind of butterfly effect to see if they can win the ball as quickly as possible. But building through the lines has been the real challenge for FC Dallas defensively. In moments like this, can they find the midfielders? Can they find Iraramendi, find Pamacol? But that's the danger of Jesus Ferreira on the field, dropping back in that midfield and starting to overload.
Farfan. Iraramendi. What a great addition he has been for FC Dallas. 33-year-old who played for Real Sociedad by and large. Had some time with Real Madrid. He joined the club ahead of their game on August the 26th. He has played in every game since, including 7 starts of those 11 games. Tumasi. Former Wake Forest Demon Deke.
Well, to your point with Iraramendi, I thought Nico Estevez gave us a nice little analogy, a little bit of insight about what he means to this group. And while not playing and having experienced the MLS Cup playoff format ever, talk about huge games and derbies, rivalries, clásicos, what that all looked like for him. And having that type of insight in your squad is invaluable when it comes to the developmental side for the young players, but also the accountability from the more established players.
He is really enjoying his time here. Not just playing in Major League Soccer, but specifically with FC Dallas, enjoying his teammates and what this club is all about. Its commitment to developing players, something his club in Spain, Real Sociedad, take a lot of pride in as well.
A challenge, Liam Fraser drops the shoulder, comes in, and again, I think it's a combative level that we're going to see from FC Dallas as they continue to try to grind themselves into this match. Remember, both of these teams in fantastic runs of form. They may not be winning the amount of games that they've wanted to, but they certainly have not been losing. So how does FC Dallas turn a losing situation into a level score line and potentially give themselves hope to win this game straight up?
Free kick here for João Paulo. Liam Fraser also joining FC Dallas after that summer window. Same time around August as Iraramendi, and both playing right now in the biggest game of FC Dallas's season up till now. Pamacol. Paxton Pamacol, when asked about FC Dallas's regular season, said, "I wish we didn't leave it so late, but we were able to get in and able to make it out of the wild card game as the 7th seed. He wanted to avoid the wild card game, but Sporting Kansas City ended up in that 8th spot. And now things are looking pretty rosy for them."
Well, and it goes back to the conversation we had with Nico about that. You know, it's the same approach, the same mental approach, the same physical approach, obviously a different opponent, but the same sense of urgency, the same sense of fear is what got them that 4-1 win against the LA Galaxy. Now listen, it's been a really tough couple of years for the LA Galaxy, and they're not the same team they once were, but that doesn't mean going in and winning 4-1 on the final day at LA Galaxy is anything to kind of dismiss. So it's always had a strong mentality, and I think last year we saw the building blocks of the identity of how Nico really wants his team to play. And this year it's been managing moments where everything has seemingly gone wrong, and yet at the same time they still made the playoffs and they still had an uptick of performance at the right time of the season.
Sure did, and that was a real impressive result for them against the Galaxy, leaving nothing open to question. Almost went ahead via Bernard Kamungo 49 seconds into the game, and then he would score 3 minutes, which ends up being the fastest goal of FC Dallas this season, and then they just run away with it.
Well, and again, listen, if they would have missed out on the playoffs, you wouldn't have said it was acceptable, but it would have been somewhat understandable because of the long-term injuries to players that were big difference makers and kind of that offensive mindset for FC Dallas. So again, I think it's a continued evolution of a younger manager that's gotten the best out of his group and figured out a way to be the type of team that nobody really likes playing against. And in a lot of ways, I think that's a huge compliment.
It is. And even though they took a dip in 2023 after what they were able to do in 2022, after finishing 3rd in the West, winning a playoff series, This is a club that you have to be very optimistic about, and Estevez is a big part of it. Well, if you get a chance to carve out some time with Nico Estevez, I don't know how that's available for everyone, do it. And the most incredible thing is that guy's memory. I think he's AI or something, but you ask him, he remembers every detail from what happened 10, 20 years ago.
It's fun to talk the tactics of the game, the shape, the identity, the identification of how many different shapes they can play in and out of depending upon where the ball is and kind of the zone of the field that we're talking about. He's got a great soccer brain.
Jesus Ferreira, who's with the U.S. national team for a couple of years prior to joining FC Dallas. Both these coaches, when you talk to them, just tell you up front what they're doing. There's no secrets here, and they're pretty comfortable about the way they play. Now they want to make people adapt to that. Certainly from the Sounders' perspective and the way they get possession.
To your point about Nico, I thought one of the interesting quotes that he had was as we're trying to settle into both the first and the second half, we're talking about how we can draw the press, but then find the pocket and the players centrally, and then kind of draw the wingers in and see if we can find in that small side not only the ability to compete, but then to attack the spaces with numbers getting forward. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of insight.
Too.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of insight of what they're doing on a daily basis in terms of the continued evolution of education of the players.
Rare mistake by João Paulo. Areola and Jackson Reagan. Professional foul there. Will get the first yellow card for the Sounders. And maybe not a bad yellow to take.
It's not only the challenge from Jackson Reagan, but it's also João Paulo coming through and catching Paul Areola as well as he was tumbling. João Paulo gets bumped off the ball for Jesus Ferreira. Areola comes through. The initial grab not there. Jackson Reagan steps up. Professional foul, whatever you call it. And then watch the head of Areola as he comes through. João Paulo.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's that shin, knee area right to the forehead of Paul Areola. So not only has he been kicked, but he's been knocked straight in the head on the way down.
That's no fun. Jackson Reagan at 25, in his best professional career, 32 starts in the regular season. Remember, he was a 4-year player at University of Michigan. Brian Schmetzer telling us that while college may not be the best option for everyone, that time he spent really helped his development where he is on his way to becoming an elite center back. Talking to Stefan Fry, he calls him Chad Marshall 2.0, which has to be as high praise as you can get.
Yeah, I've played for my former teammate, New England Revolution, Shaka Daly, at University of Michigan. And again, it's not that just the direct path is an identifiable homegrown product, but again, Chad Marshall, if he has anything near the career that Chad Marshall had in Major League Soccer, then that's going to be an incredibly successful career for Jackson Reagan.
And that progressive passing stat, pretty amazing. He can hit a ball short, long. And that makes a center back turn into a good traditional type center back to a new modern type center back player where the sky could be the limit.
I mean, think about it. He's displaced Xavier Arriaga in this starting 11 in that partnership alongside Yeimar. Great goal.
Christian Roldan. His first real contribution in half number 2. Going at Marco Farfan, and he got the better of that matchup in the first half.
Yeah, something he's got in his back pocket is João Paulo. Up and over, good long ball, good verticality. It's good recovery space and good defending 1v1 with Marco Farfan. Doesn't bite, shield, shade out. Again, that space, that dropped right over the shoulder. Tafari thought about it, and then again, isolated 1v1. Drew the penalty in the first half. This time, good defending for Marco Farfan. Finish my point about Jackson Reagan. I mean, think about this. 33rd time in Major League Soccer, regular season and playoffs, that Jackson Reagan, Yeimar, who's up for MLS Defender of the Year, and Stefan Fry have been in the starting 11. I mean, that trifecta, that's a lot of experience, a lot of reward for Brian Schmetzer and his staff.
Seattle kid, part of the Sounders Academy, to become a draft pick from the Chicago Fire before making his way back to his home team.
And you say that, and I understand the value of homegrown products and the immediacy of coming through the academy, but I really think in terms of physical development and mental development that the college game still has a huge role to play for a lot of players in this soccer scene.
That's a good exhibit A for Jackson Reagan for any players considering that. Oh, Morris had Rusnak flying up that middle channel. Couldn't get it through. Jordan Morris hasn't put up the numbers. He had that 4-goal game in the opening weekend against Sporting Kansas City, or in the opening month.
Yeah, you can see the idea, and that's a really good read from Ibiaga. Jordan Morris opens up his hips, and he's trying to play a ball on the ground so the attacking player can get around. A good step from Ibiaga.
Good passing here, Arriola. Farfan able to get through. Ferreira, they've stretched it open for Obrian. A little too rich for the blood. Well, the Sounders look to keep the tempo going. Nuhu intercepted. Tumasi. Where is the offense going to come from for Dallas? They need one. They have been very economical all season with their goals. They don't give up a lot. Some timely goals in that 9-game unbeaten streak to end the regular season. And a couple comebacks along the way. Ibiaga.
I think both managers, as we hit the hour mark, are going to start to think about the injection of fresh legs, blood, ability to either score some goals or give them more of a dynamic approach in terms of balance with players available coming off the bench.
Off the shoulder of Reagan. A little handball education again after what happened yesterday in the Sporting Kansas City St. Louis City game about the shoulder being all right. It is it's a game of inches when it comes to the handball. Tumasi, game on. Morris keeps his balance. And to far right, he get there too as he smashes off of number 13.
Yeah, Jordan Morris wants the initial foul for the bump on the line right there from Ibiaga. He just pushes through, gets his head up, and then Tafari comes across and just smashes the ball off the knees of Jordan Morris, judged to be an FC Dallas throw. Now the challenge is, now the verbiage is Nuhu and Obrian. Nuhu goes up and over the body of Obrian, starts to talk a little bit of trash right in front of Nima Sagafi, the fourth official. Yeah, it's starting to really heat up, and the foul has been called on Nuhu, bundling over the backside of Obrian. Now Obrian's got something to say to Nima Sagafi as well. Yeah, it's a foul. He starts yelling, and it's the physicality between the two players afters. Obrian not happy with Nuhu, and then just verbally jousting with one another while Nima Sagafi tries to play peacemaker.
Hairy situation. It is quelled. Free kick here for Dallas. "17-match unbeaten run in playoffs here in this building for Sounders. 15 wins sandwiched in by 2 ties. They are close to perfect here. Looking to advance that one more game. 30 minutes and change away. It goes all the way back to November of 2014. Ibiaga. Offside there on Dallas. Two very good defensive teams. Slips under the foot of Roldan all the way through to Martin Paz. Tafari. Nice footwork from the number 17. Overlapping run, Alex Roldan. Rusnak. A little half volley.
Well, we saw a couple of opportunities down the first half, the right-hand side between Christian Roldan, Alex Roldan. Service takes the deflection in. And Rusnak, first-time opportunity, looking with the inside of his right foot as this ball skips up off the surface.
The fight and win chant coming out here from Lumen Field. Joining Major League Soccer in 2009, and they've changed this league forevermore. Successful from the jump, making the postseason every year. Then the trophies started to roll around. 2 MLS Cups won, 2 more finals made. Breaking through, winning the CONCACAF Champions League, as it was then known back in 2021.
These last 5 minutes, FC Dallas doing a really good job. The statement of intent with some of these challenges in the midfield third.
Ariola. Crafty little header there by Nuhu. Throw in here for FC Dallas. Plenty of time, and they just need the 1 goal. There is penalty kicks if it is tied after 90 minutes. Yaramendi couldn't catch it. Jordan Morris pins the ears back. Doesn't have any help as Seattle was bunkered down. Does play it wide for Christian Roldan. Flat for Usnak. Pomykal wins another one. Not cleared though. This is Alex Roldan. Reagan. All field players for Seattle now in the Dallas half. Love to put this one away with a second. Atencio. Reagan playing a little libero in the back. Atencio turns and faces, cuts it back for Morris. Has a step. Tafari coming across. Hold the breath moment for FC Dallas supporters, no doubt. Pomykal through. Hanging over the precipice at the other end. Back to Stefan Fry. Rusnak, plenty of time, picks his head up. Leo Chu, not a factor in the second half. Gets it underneath the foot of Ferreira. Tomasi. The head of steam, but where are the passing channels?
Yeah, they were defending so much in that last phase of play for possession for the Seattle Sounders that they need to be able to put their foot on the ball and deal with this type of press. And it looks like Nico Lodero's number has been called, and he's going to be the first change of the night for Brian Smetzer.
And to weave the tale here of Nico Lodero. Very interesting quote from him this week in training. A free agent to be is Nuhu separates from Paul Ariola. Dangerous pass for Yeimar. Atencio. And for the Sounders, who didn't have Christian Roldan for most of the season, and Raul Ruidiaz missing so much action as well, he is available on the bench. And the better lineup in the eyes of Brian Schmetzer with Nico Lodero coming off the bench. He has a bench that can provide a spark, and we're about to see it. Ferreira almost got there to O'Brien. We'll get the official announcement as to who. Nico Lodero, a legend in these parts upon his arrival. So many great moments, big moments in the playoff as well for the Sounders, including against FC Dallas. We'll get into that history here shortly. Atencio, Christian Roldan, central. Leo Chu. Drives one in, no threat for Martin Paz, and the substitution will occur, and it's going to be Leo Chu coming out.
Yeah, the shot of a man that probably knew his number was going to be called, and for Nico Lodeiro, he's a legend in these parts. Probably unnecessary, announcing that he was going to be done at the end of the season in the moment in which the team was in an uptick, getting ready for the playoffs. But listen to this ovation.
Mentioned how Craig Weibel reached out about perhaps extending him here and said it was too late. Ryan Schmetzer was asked about it, said it's sad. He's been a great player for the club. He is the one that makes the final decision. We're going to enjoy him for as long as we can, and it's his choice. And Brian Schmetzer obviously optimistic that somehow it could be worked out where he could be here at the Emerald City in 2024.
Yeah, listen, he's 34 years of age, and he's been arguably the best player in the Seattle Sounders uniform. All due respect to everybody else that have represented this club. But when you talk about a designated player, he's checked every single box possible, both on and off the field, for what you want in terms of a leader. But the reality is, I think the Seattle Sounders are in a similar phase that they were with Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey. Raul Ruidiaz and Nico Lodeiro, at some point you got to make tough decisions, and it looks as if we're getting to the end of what Nico Lodeiro's time at Seattle has been, which has been nothing short of extraordinary.
Arriving here in 2016, hitting the ground running, part of a couple MLS Cup championship teams. Lodeiro! I would say off his first touch, but I don't think he made contact to it. Missed opportunity there. Some substitutions about to come in for Dallas as well.
Yeah, Roldan holding up play, brings in his brother Alex as this ball comes across. Nico Lodeiro, less preferred right foot, kind of spins right through the penalty area.
Dante Seeley, Sam Junca preparing to come in for Nico Estevez. Seeley's been a real interesting development. High ceiling guy, getting more and more minutes. Nico Estevez likes what he brings to the table. Nuhu.
Again, is this an opportunity to shape-shift this back line to be a little bit more aggressive in the midfield and get a couple more numbers forward for FC Dallas?
Not as an explosive half like we had in the first 45 minutes. Reagan, there's where he can hit those balls. Headed on by Christian Moldan, over the top by Ibiaga. But it goes to Christian Moldan. Lodeiro, Rusnak, in and out of the 18. João Paulo.
Look at the movement of Nico Lodeiro.
Atencio, solid as always, or I should say as always. He's really developed into that, and Brian Schmetzer very comfortable playing him alongside number 6 right there, João Paulo. Those two combined. A little scoop there by Rusnak. Substitutions here for Dallas. Marco Farfan will make way for Sam Junca.
And Dante Seeley will replace O'Brien. 20 minutes remaining in this match. So we'll see if there's a little bit of a tweak defensively if they go just flat 3 in the back and allow Emma Tomasi to push a little bit higher into that midfield on that right-hand side and give the freedom of Dante Seeley to play free up that left.
20 minutes to go, and Dallas 1 goal still with a chance to extend and win this game. Lodeiro, tight quarters here for Rusnak. Excellent passing by the Sounders. The Roldan brothers combining into Atencio. He's going to call his own number. That's blocked by Tafari. Ball more meeting man than the alternative, Tafari. was putting himself between the defender and the ball and gets the free kick.
He most certainly still has plenty left in the gas tank. Maybe just not here at Seattle, but as Atencio comes across his body, see the idea, keeps it low. 2 arms behind the back for Tafari, and then Nico Ladero comes across, takes the bump, separates the ball from Tuamasi and earns the foul. Well, we've heard everything with Nico Ladero, right? We've heard Boca Juniors, we've heard Nacional, we've heard other teams in Major League Soccer. It'll be really intriguing to see what the rest of this playoffs look like for Seattle and what the future holds for an extraordinarily talented, high work rate midfielder that can do things not many others can do.
He came from the Argentine Giants, Boca Juniors prior to Seattle. Atencio, and that was a smart no play by Tuamasi, as that ball goes right through the goal mouth. And you mentioned the high work rate from Nico Ladero. At his age, he still runs and runs and runs.
He just buzzes all over the place, puts himself in dangerous spots, almost gets on the end of that, and Tuamasi just again gets himself in a good defensive position to make sure it's not a simple tap in.
Christian Roldan.
Well, right underneath us, Nico Estevez is having a conversation with Paxton Pomacall, and they're trying to sort this out tactically, what it needs to be, what it looks like. But from the throw-in and the press, Christian Roldan from distance, you can see the idea coming through it with the laces, a little bit more on the outside of the foot, just kind of tails away.
Christian Roldan, when he was in the lineup, 8, 1, and 5. Ladedo's former club has a big one coming up this weekend as Boca takes on Fluminense in the Copa Libertadores final in Brazil.
You can see Paxton Pomacall max higher and higher up this right-hand side. Jesus Ferreira with a little bit more freedom to dip into that midfield. Then Yaramendi and Liam Frazier a little bit more defensive-minded in front of what looks to be clearly a back three.
Intercepted. Alex Roldan waiting for the play to develop. Allows Sealy to react. Christian Roldan. All Seattle the last few minutes here. Lodedo, Rusnak. Lodedo. Yaramendi letting it get through. Rusnak switches it up. Reagan. A pinball in the machine there. It's finally collected by Sealy, but Dallas will not get any relief. João Paulo. It's a passing clinic here from the Sounders.
Yeah, great technique right there from Albert Rusnak to drive it in and then just outside the right foot to keep a little triangle possession.
Atencio. Nuhu. Lodedo is down at the other end, but it's Jordan Morris who makes it 2. And maybe the point of no return in this first game for FC Dallas. Hasn't had a lot of goals in the back end, but he has one to start the postseason. 2 Seattle.
We've got multiple players down on the surface. One for FC Dallas, the other was Nico Ladero, upended by Emma Tuamasi. Right on the sideline. And it's Paul Arriola. Martin Paz indicating to the bench that he needed immediate attention after sprinting out after the goal was scored. But the build-up, the phase of play, the simple possession. João Paulo inside, the little turn and twist. He gets his legs taken out from underneath him. And that pick out. Jordan Morris gets inside, both center backs. Nuhu gets away from Paxton Pomacall. He rises up well, uncontested, poor marking. Good finish from Jordan Morris. Nothing Paz can do about it. And Jordan Morris, that's a huge goal in the 74th minute to make it 2-1 Seattle over FC Dallas here at Lumen Field.
And a very rare assist for Nuhu. I'm not sure they're maybe looking at this one.
Well, in the buildup of play, is there something that would negate the goal itself?
May have been accelerated, or advanced in position when he got the ball from Lodedo. I think that might be what they're looking at. Yep. May have been offside from Nuhu.
No, for Jorge Gonzalez, he's looking for the offside. He's onside right there when that ball's played. Legs taken out from underneath. Good advantage played from Joe Dickerson. nothing to indicate right there that that goal would be chalked off. But
we're being told it's violent conduct after the play.
So whatever happened with Paul Arriola when he was down, we're assuming that's where they're taking Jorge Gonzalez. VAR tonight is taking a good look. Was there violent conduct after the goal was scored and some type of coming together? Looks like check's complete.
It's an expression you don't want to hear in any game. And 2 more changes about to come in for Dallas. New has had assists in the past. He had 3 assists in 2022. He had 2 in 2020. He had none in 2023, but he does have one in the MLS Cup playoffs, and it is huge. Beautiful ball in for Jordan Morris.
And as soon as that ball hit the back of the net, FC Dallas's staff got Bernard Kamungo as well as Eugene Ansa up and over to the 4th official. Those will be the next 2 players coming on for FC Dallas.
This will be subs 4 and 5. Remember the injury sub in the first half. Remember also conversations we had about Bernard Kamungo, and he had to be tested in advance of this game to make sure he could play. Made the trip, and he's going to get some minutes.
A couple goals against LA Galaxy coming off the U.S. under-23, the future Olympic team performance. An incredible story, an incredibly talented young man. And the opportunity for he and that man Ansa to potentially work some magic, claw themselves back with 13+ minutes remaining in this game. Paul Arriola asking for some clarity right there from Nima Sagafi.
Inside the area, Seattle protest again. It's again Christian Roldan with the contact inside the 18-yard box. Game number 2, Toyota Stadium down there in Frisco, Texas on Saturday, so a short week. Kamungo. Fry.
Again, Max, you go back to those 2 chances for Jesus Ferreira in the first 20 minutes of this game, and how drastically different this complexion would have looked had he scored at least one of those 2. Huge save from Stefan Fry, and then the second opportunity up and over the crossbar. And then just with a couple minutes remaining in the first half, just a killer goal to concede with that penalty judged to have been committed from Marco Farfan, and the goal from Albert Rusnak. Get fine margins, especially in the playoffs.
Foul on Kamungo, and in this new playoff format, it's a strange position to be in. You still go for that result here if you're at Dallas. I mean,
100%.
And clearly Nico Estevez is doing that.
Yeah, you're not worrying about any type of aggregate. You're just worrying about the result itself and seeing if you can figure out a way to go offensive as possible. And he's rolled the dice. He's thrown it. Listen, it could get wildly out of control, and Seattle could punish them for going as offensive-minded as they humanly possibly can. But the flip side for Seattle, continue to stay in control. And a lot of the control tonight has been about winning the first and second ball in the midfield and maintaining really strong, simple possession, forcing FC Dallas to chase a lot of this.
See how unglued Dallas get defensively in their attempts to get a goal here. And to your point, you don't want to lose by 3 or 4 or 5 goals, but it does not make a difference as it applies to the rest of the series. Yaramendi. Long field to cover here for the visitors. First touch for Ansa. Ten minutes to go here at Lumen Field. Sealy. Kamungo. Despite all the changes and new attacking options, that back line remains the same. The setup does. Nuhu.
There's just something about his body language, Kamungo, when he gets on the ball and that left foot, the way he kind of just moves and shimmies and shakes on the ball. You can just tell he's such a dynamic, dangerous player.
And Tafari cutting down. Rusnak gets the yellow card. Second yellow for FC Dallas.
Albert Rusnak, he's looking for the opportunity to play Christian Roldan potentially through. Tafari comes across. Tactical foul, professional foul, whatever you want to describe it. It's definitely a yellow card worthy decision and a simple one for the referee.
João Paulo. Raul Ruidiaz is up on the Sounders bench. Coming across Christian Roldan. Frazier. Atencio.
Oh, imagine if you're Brian Smetzer being able to turn to both Nico Lodeiro and Raul Ruidiaz in the second half to kill off a game, if you will.
With a 2-goal lead to bring in a mercurial strike like that, it's an interesting
really
move.
incredible.
But
yeah.
everything is off the table here, and certainly Brian Smetzer may want to put that final nail in the coffin.
Well, it's also the psychology of it, right? You got to get Ruidiaz on the field, give him some minutes, and keep him bought in as much as you possibly can, understanding the frustration that he's not in that starting 11 from the opening whistle.
He'll come in like for Jordan Morris. Listen to the crowd for Ruidiaz's introduction.
But you take a look at the goal scored by Jordan Morris. Nico Lodeiro gets his legs taken out from underneath him. Underlapping run from Nuhu. Completely unmarked. Gets between the two center backs. Rises up well. Nothing the goalkeeper can do about it. And Jordan Morris's goal in the 74th minute.
Wreck-It Raul missed the last few games. Heading in to the end of the regular season, and Atencio bangs one in that certainly got the attention of Martin Paz.
How good has Atencio been tonight?
He's been, and the last few games of the regular season.
He's really solid on the road at St. Louis, and he's come really close tonight. He's got something. Well, what the ceiling looks like, we'll see, but really talented 21-year-old player.
MLS Cup playoffs is Raul Ruidiaz time. One of the all-time performers when you look at games and production. 11 playoff games, 9 goals, 6 assists. He'll be looking to add to that tonight, perhaps Saturday. Those numbers are insane.
Yeah. Wow.
Efficient. Headed down by Atencio. Christian Roldan.
Yeah, this is where Seattle's been really good tonight, forcing FC Dallas out of their shape, forcing them to chase long stretches without the ball.
Still hope here for FC Dallas. Diagonal pass by Jesus Ferreiro is pretty wishful. And Stefan Fry maybe on his way to another clean sheet. Nuhu. Ibiaga gets his toes on it. Yaramendi. Space now here. Ansa. Step over by Sealy.
And again, you wonder what the lessons learned were missing out on the playoffs last season. Maybe more importantly, June, July, and August, where they really struggled being dumped out in the group stage of the League's Cup, and now just finding their form at the exact moment, at the exact right time. Just a really good mentality with this Seattle Sounders team.
Under 5 to go. Ruidiaz. Maybe a chance for Lodeiro and Ruidíaz to reconnect here, and that's what he does. Lodeiro's ball cut out by Tafari. João Paulo inserts himself. Lodeiro, you can see just the whirling dervish of activity. Alex Roldan. Rusnak. There's Atencio in the middle.
Just some heavy legs right now for FC Dallas. Even with the substitutions made, there's still gaps. When they're tight in their defensive block, they're low block, keeping the game in front of them. They're comfortable, but the moment that ball turns over, Seattle is able to play through a couple of lines. There's some big spaces with the substitution pattern and the hope that FC Dallas can get back into this game.
Ferreira. Time running short for the visitors here. Tafari had some nice assists from those deep lying positions.
What a turn.
Lodeiro. João Paulo. Bearing down. Rusnak. Steps away from Ibeagha. Christian Roldan. João Paulo. Ibeagha in time. Ansa. Space now for Jesus Ferreira. A lot of green grass in front of him. Has to wait for support. Frazier. Match one of the best of three. Seattle with the advantage. Moments away from locking down the first game. Meat of the sandwich moment there from Sealy. No foul.
Just the impact and the possession with Nico Lodeiro, his movement off the ball, and the ability of Rusnak and Atencio and João Paulo to find him. He's just creating so much more space. It just looks like a completely different team that Brian Spencer's able to turn to with Nico Lodeiro on the field.
Rusnak trying to get it to Ruidíaz. It's Lodeiro. Kamungo. Flag is down. Kamungo inside the 18. Drives one in, but he had no firepower behind it. Flag does go up. Just looking at this Sounders performance, Dunny, and we've seen the other teams, and you put that on the back end of 9 games undefeated. Yeah. Where would you put this team?
Most certainly one of the teams that has every right and ability to compete for the top spot coming out of the Western Conference.
I mean, this is a real gauntlet throwing down performance.
It is, but it's not perfect. And again, moments, right? If Jesus Ferreira scores one or both of those opportunities in the first half, the game looks and feels completely different. Completely different.
Those are some good looks.
Again, it's a game of margins, and in the playoffs, you have to be clinical. How do you punish those simple mistakes? And those margins tonight are not in favor of FC Dallas because of the inability to finish off those chances.
Sealy. Ansa. Subs for Dallas have put the work in. Change of pace, Nuhu. They love him here. Ruidíaz. Just to revisit a conversation we started, and we talked to Brian Spencer about the homegrowns for Seattle. He says, we develop players to win. We don't develop players to sell them. FC Dallas in the past have developed players. Many have been sold to some big name clubs, and you know the names. But you gotta love how Seattle does it. We've seen it with Atencio. We'll see that with Obed Vargas and Reed Baker-Whiting, who was unable to play here. But that group of players that were there, the old guard, as we get 4 additional minutes, led by Jordan Morris, and now this new group, the old and the new, are all playing together.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about the coaching staff that believes in players and gives the players the opportunity. And maybe one of the byproducts of missing out on the playoffs last season was being able to bleed a couple of really young players, if you will. So both clubs have done an extraordinary job of developing and preparing players to play at the highest level.
Rui Diaz looking for playoff goal number 10. You have to be thrilled if you're Seattle with the contribution you got from Lodeiro, and now a few little glimmers here from Rui Diaz too.
Yeah, impact players off the bench. Two players that can really change the way it looks, especially against a fatigued defense.
Christian Roldan out wide to far eye. We're into the first minute of stoppage time. Seattle look like they're home. Seattle Sounders, who were challenged offensively for most of the season, are able to score 2 goals in St. Louis on decision day and 2 goals here. If they could score goals with consistency, look out. We know they'll hang their hat on their defensive wherewithal. They are maybe the best in these MLS Cup playoffs in that category. Came in with allowing the fewest goals along with Nashville. Good footwork from Ansah. Yaramendi. Big drive from Tafari. Another wrinkle to his game. Fans, don't forget, you can catch up on all the night's action on MLS Wrap-Up Live immediately after tonight's matches right here on MLS Season Pass. All the action from the game in Seattle, as well as what happened in Orlando. Home teams winning both.
All right, well, there's going to be plenty to ponder for FC Dallas's coaching staff. I think one of the subtle reminders in a moment like this when the final whistle blows is the ability to wipe this off and focus on the next game as an individual standalone. You're not managing aggregate. So we've seen Nico Estevez really throw everything forward in hopes of trying to claw back a couple goals in this game. But now you wonder what the tactical chess match looks like, what the wrinkles potentially could be, and the atmosphere that is potentially created for FC Dallas at home.
Nico Estevez able to show his development as a coach and what he was able to do to get Dallas locked into these playoffs, playing good teams, getting good results. This has to be debilitating. This has got a punch in the gut. And the margin for error for Dallas is gone. Have to win on Saturday or their season is over. Atencio. Four minutes almost up. Oop, Atencio behind on the tackle from Sealy. The first loss for FC Dallas since August the 30th. And make it 18 straight games undefeated for Seattle in the playoffs here at Lumen Fields. Goals from Albert Rusnak in the first half via the penalty spot, and then Jordan Morris scoring in the second. Seattle do what they do best, and now they look to close this series out on Saturday. But first, this is the moment of the match, presented by J.C. Penney.
An early throw up and over the top. Farfan spins inside out. Roldan gets isolated 1v1. Watch the left foot on left foot contact right there. Doesn't get enough of the ball. Gets plenty of the left foot. Comes across. Steps on the toes. Referee points the spot. VAR does not overturn. Up steps Albert Rusnak. Pause. Strong touch to his right-hand side. Actually pushes it into the post. And that gave Seattle the 1-0 lead in the 43rd minute.
Albert Rusnak continues to be a big part of this Seattle Revival. Started the season great, had that bad patch, but boy, do they look dangerous at the right time of the year. They win tonight against FC Dallas 2-0. We'll be back to wrap things up from Lumen Field next.
There are trucks, then there's the truck, GMC Sierra. Available with the V8 engine. The Super Cruise hands-free driving experience. And of course, the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. Not just any truck, the truck.
How will I know where to start? Striving for more isn't just for the field, it's for life. Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Lunch?
Yes, please.
That'll be $23.
Your ad says it's free.
It is for our economy ultimate passengers who paid extra.
I'll just have water.
Okay, cash or card?
For water?
Well, at AT&T, when we offer you our best iPhone deals, we guarantee it. Even on the new iPhone 15 Pro. Check it out, made with titanium.
We do have free movies with the purchase of headphones.
I'll just use my iPhone.
Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on any iPhone with any popular plan. Guaranteed. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us.
It was all perfect coming into this Monday night with the weather, the conditions, and Seattle continue that as the Sounders win Game 1 in this best-of-3 series. Goals by Rusnak and Jordan Morris to seal it. Let's take a look at the brackets. So it's pretty chalky with the exception of St. Louis City, but with one more quarterfinal matchup to be played on Wednesday, the higher seeds all winning Game 1, with that one exception.
A lot of people are talking about how mouth-watering matchup it could be, potentially LAFC against Seattle. Still work to be done for both teams. Houston, they get a big result at home against Real Salt Lake. I mean, Bassi in the 80th minute. But Sporting Kansas City, Peter Vermes, what a statement that was in St. Louis last night.
We all need a little Cinderella in there, and maybe Sporting is that team. Much more as we'll wrap up our coverage here with all the reactions next here on Apple TV.
Ilie can win MLS Cup with this kick.
Game on the line. How do I make the smart choice? I remember what's worked and what hasn't. This goalie knows exactly where I'm going to shoot. He's smart, but hesitant. I'm not, or I'm right, all in. So let it fly.
Yes! What a smart choice by Ilie!
Continental, the smart choice in tires.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters.
Ready. I hope y'all ready. I hope y'all ready. I hope y'all ready. Yeah, we still lit.
really home field advantage unless you take advantage of it. Great things happen when you spice it up.
New IHG1 Rewards. 18 hotel brands. One loyalty program that lets you guest how you guest.
We are back. Seattle win it. They get to celebrate with the Emerald City supporters. And how about Brian Schmetzer? He gets his 16th career playoff victory, puts him third all by himself behind the two legends in front of him, Bruce Arena and Ziggy Schmidt. There is FC Dallas and the Sounders, round 1, match 2, Saturday, November the 4th. The kickoff time, 9 Eastern time, so 8 o'clock local for those down there in North Texas. We will see you then. Dunny and I will be on the call. For my partner, Brian Dunseth, and the entire crew, I'm Max Brento saying good night from Seattle. Don't forget, for other scores, highlights, and the latest news from around MLS, check out My Sports in the Apple News app. Final score 2-0 on behalf of Seattle. They take game 1. On behalf of everyone here, we'll see you again on Saturday. And until then, Placido Domingo!
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.
Some people just know what road to take. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
The service road is faster.
Turn left.
Not happening.
He knows better than any GPS, and he'd point you in Allstate's direction.
Go all the way down the road past the big gray warehouse.
Take the next exit.
You're not from around here, so you don't know the back roads.
I don't want to be late for the party.
I'm gonna save us 5 minutes.
Some people just know what road to take.
You're on the fastest route.
Those are the people who know safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
It's not really home field advantage unless you take advantage of it. Great things happen when you spice it up.
We're making Italian beef sandwiches. First, let's prep the meat.
No beef.
Perfect. First, we're gonna get the ingredients. You can order it with your fingertips. We got tinfoil, right? We get groceries, DoorDash.
Welcome into MLS Wrap-Up. Bradley Wright-Phillips, Andrew Wiebe, and myself, Kaylin Kyle. Gentlemen, the best thing we saw today.
Stupid question, Kaylin. Cartagena goal, wonder strike.
All right, you took the easy one, Brad, and I want to play Charlie Brown on this show, so I'm going disappointment. Away teams, what are you doing? So many opportunities in front of goal. Nashville couldn't do it, neither could FC Dallas, and they both lose game 1.
Wah, wah, wah.
Let's
take a look at the bracket and just, get the energy up here, because Andrew Wiebe is killing it right now over in the West.
And that chance.
He will be, Andrew. And look, we see Cartagena here trying to find his range. We see that he's got it in the locker. Tries to take an effort, fluffs his lines, but he'll be back later.
Now, Bradley Wright-Phillips, you see Heine Mukhtar doing wonders down this left-hand side. A brilliant ball from the Canadian international.
no.
What is going on?
Listen, Schaffelberg doing what Schaffelberg does, but Sam Surridge in the beginning, great movement, finds some room in the box. He's going for a side volley. He doesn't have the time, misses the judge, the speed of the ball, and can't get the technique right. Bad miss.
It's not your hair, Sam, I gotta tell you. But watch, right here, Wilder Cartagena. He's glancing, he understands. He has the space, the time, the technique. Oh my God.
He said, if you're gonna give me all that room, I'm gonna put it in the top corner. I wanna see Sean Davis maybe get out to block that shot, but because he doesn't, the rest is history. The curl on that ball, the pace and power and accuracy is unbelievable.
Midfielder. He does not know
what are you doing up there, Cartagena?
Have a
You're a
celebration,
six.
Wilder. Have a celebration.
You know,
Heine Mukhtar said, I saw that. I'm going to try one better, just 40 yards outside this 18-yard box, off the woodwork.
Oh, you can see hits that cleanly. Not too much movement on the ball. A little bit of knuckle on that.
Orlando will give Nashville that, though. And these are opportunities that Orlando will want back. Yeah, just a good header, good set piece. Not quite the pace. Joe Willis set up. Nobody in front of him to block his view. easy save. But Nashville are pushing. They're trying to find a way to get back in this match, and it's going to come via pressure, and Jacob Schaffelberg just dives in. A little booty pass for him to Sturridge. Here's Hani. But again, Orlando limiting Nashville to shots outside the box.
Jacob Schaffelberg had himself a game defensively, causing two turnovers and keeping this one alive. Another great performance from Hani Mukhtar. Just couldn't put the ball into the back of the net. Fantastic defending from Orlando City, though. We talk about their offense, but defensively so sound.
Not in that moment. Teal Bunbury is wide open, all by himself. Look at this view. There is nobody within 5 feet of Teal, and I don't think he puts the ball in between the 6-yard boxes on that one.
He gets up a little, sorry, Andrew, he gets up a little too early, and then he can't, he doesn't have time or space to redirect the ball. Bad miss.
Well, the full screen score down in Orlando. 1-0 performance over Nashville, the first of 3 series. That possession in favor for Orlando City. The shots, though, gentlemen. 25 shots for Orlando City, 5 of those being on target. Let's get you out to Robin Janssen, who had some post-game sound.
Of course, very important. So happy to get a victory here in the first game, and then enjoy that tonight, tomorrow, and then start to focus ahead of the trip to Nashville.
Robin, what was your vantage point when Wilder Cartagena hit that strike and scored that goal? What did you see?
I have no idea actually where he got that from, but hopefully it was some magical Peruvian stuff that will keep on coming every game now. So that was a beautiful hit, and I'm so happy for Wilder. He always putting down the hard work in the midfield and dictating the tempo, running his ass off. So I'm very happy for him and for the team.
And talking of hard work, 4 clean sheets in the last 5 now for you. I mean, they say defense can win championships.
That's correct, I say so. But at the same time, I think they had some good opportunities today that we have to look back and then do better in the next game, because they were dangerous on their crosses. But we just need to keep the momentum. We need to do our thing and then just sharpen up on some details.
Robin, thanks for talking to us. Well done tonight.
Thank you.
We got to give credit where credit's due with this Orlando side, but Nashville, you could see the tactical change in that second 45 minutes, dropping Hani Mukhtar just a little bit more defensively to play on Sam Sturridge. Just couldn't finish the opportunities.
No, and that's what Sam Sturridge was brought in for, to finish the moments that he got in the first half. When you don't, you give Orlando City an opportunity, a little bit of breathing room. And Robin Janssen said it. We were not perfect on the night. There were 2 massive chances that have to be better. And Brad, as we watch Sam Sturridge, the movement is perfect. It's after that.
It's good, but like I said, he misjudges the flight of the ball. So now in the movement, the steps behind, when he's going backwards, he can't sort out his feet quick enough to get the side volley. For me, he's got to go with a side foot, just pushing it anywhere, and it's a goal.
Bradley, those are one of those that would haunt you in your dreams. But you could see defensively, Orlando just so good and making players like Hani Mukhtar have shots this far out.
Mauricio Pereira dared him. He was staring at him. Said, yeah, go ahead. You want to shoot from there? Pedro Gaese is going to save that every time. But these are the sort of mistakes that Janssen is talking about, and he was on the end of that one. Yeah, you give it up in that space, Hani's going to have an opportunity. Very fortunate Orlando City that didn't mean more.
And Janssen's right, because, say what you want about Nashville tonight. If you keep giving them opportunities like this in the next 2 games, if there is 3 games, you're going to be in trouble. They will score one of them.
This is the one. 74th minute, Nashville SC mostly been back in their defensive block all game long, just waiting for the 1 or 2 chances. I would have bet on Teal Bunbury to put this home, for Nashville to steal a penalty kick shootout and have Elliot Panico change things. As it was, it's a full snowman. You got the 2 right there and then the 0 in the score box.
Are you excited for Christmas?
Oh,
You've made 2
you better
Christmas.
believe it. I'm going to get gifts. Nashville wish they got one.
Well, speaking of gifts, you look at this Orlando City side, created a lot of opportunities and putting the ball into the back of the net. But you look at someone like Cartagena with that goal. It was absolutely superb. And this is what they've been craving. You look at Duncan McGuire, maybe not finishing some chances, or Fernando Torres, and having someone like that have a screamer outside the 18.
And that's what I love about playoffs and tight matches and matches that mean so much. It's not always the stars that are going to get you the goal. Because of the games are so tight and cagey, you need a Wilmer Cartagena, to come up with a special moment, and he did that today.
Do you, as a forward, enjoy those moments? Where the guy who runs his A off, as Robin Janssen said, and doesn't get the plaudits, pops out and all of a sudden scores a worldie? Those are special moments. So the 3rd of the season for Cartagena, and it's not the first big goal he's scored. Think back to Leagues Cup. Santos Laguna. Stoppage time in the second half. Whether Cartagena makes a run all the way down, scores the goal. It's another big moment for him. Congratulations.
Well done.
Orlando, what was the one thing that you did like about them here tonight?
It's the build-up play, and especially from Mauricio Pereira. Watch, the number 10. It's going to pop into your screen here in a second. Well, he's the one that...
Sorry, look at the finish. So accurate. The spin, the curl, and power of that strike is unbelievable. Willis couldn't save that if he tried for a week. It's not happening, man. Great finish.
But speaking of Mauricio Pereira, helping create from the back early on. Now watch, the goalkeeper's playing out. Orlando City trying to draw Nashville up. Number 10, bottom of your screen, is Mauricio Pereira. Receives the ball, space to run into. Now watch him dictate this entire possession. Move, check back, receive the ball again. Yep, here it is. Now, face up on field, drive forward, give and go, 1-2. Keep moving, find the space. Beautiful little touch outside of the boot. Should have been a goal. That's Mauricio Pereira and his way to dictate the game. From the deep-lying central midfield all the way into the box, Bradley, he's got something special to him.
Brilliant player, so much fun to watch.
Again, watch him. Look at this, hands down. Pass me the ball. Give it to me, top of the box. I got space. Turn, look. Nobody's gonna pressure me? Fine, I'll drive forward, find the feet. This was the entire match, Brad, and Mauricio Pereira is a special player.
He's a special player, and this was a problem for Nashville all game because, yes, you're in a good shape. Yes, you're all behind the ball, but they're too passive. No one getting to a player of that quality is going to cause you problems.
We look at this Orlando City side, the pass forward, move forward, and just the intricate play in and around the 18-yard box. Considering the season that they had, sitting second in the West, and then that performance that we saw against a very defensive-minded Nashville team, do they have the parts in order to get to the MLS Cup final?
I would say 100%. Defensively, they've shown all season that they can defend well, they can limit teams to very few chances. And then we see they can pop up with moments of magic. They can get goals from different areas of the field. And that, to me, is a team that can challenge and go all the way.
Forget getting to the final. If Orlando get to the final, they have a good chance to win it. They will host MLS Cup if they get that far. Oscar Pareja, by the way, in the final year of his contract, insane to me that he does not have a job locked up with the Lions next year.
Well, speaking of Christmas, Cartagena, post-match, got to watch his goal live back, and the reaction is unbelievable. Take a listen.
Oh! I know!
Sometimes it's not about those number 9 goal scorers like a Duncan McGuire, but those are the reactions, like you just alluded to. Sometimes it's not the big stars that put the ball in the back of the net, but stars are created into the playoffs.
That's a man that hasn't seen too many of his goals on tape. That's not the first time that he's seen one, but that's probably the best one he's scored in his career.
Andrew, is this what you look like on your Sunday league games?
No, I'm in the back watching it from the other direction. Center backs don't get that moment.
Hey, but what a time, though. You can watch your goal straight after the game. When I was scoring, you had to wait. I had to wait. Hope my game wasn't on black.
Right?
I had to hope there wasn't a blackout and I can go and get my highlights.
You had to move the bunny ears on your old TV. Well, a big match, too, in the series. Best of 3 series. They will travel to Nashville. Orlando City picking up the first win in this one. That one is Tuesday, November 7th, here on MLS Season Pass at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, well, don't go anywhere because we had another match in the books tonight. Seattle taking on FC Dallas and that Western Conference. Stick around.
How will I know where to start? Striving for more isn't just for the field, it's for life. Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Lunch?
Yes, please.
That'll be $23.
Your ad says it's free.
It is for our Economy Ultimate passengers who paid extra.
I'll just have water.
Okay, cash or card?
For water?
Well, at AT&T, when we offer you our best iPhone deals, we guarantee it. Even on the new iPhone 15 Pro. Check it out, made with titanium.
We do have free movies, with the purchase of headphones.
I'll just use my iPhone.
Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on any iPhone with any popular plan. Guaranteed. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us.
For 120 years, JCPenney has been there for you for every holiday, helping your family make every gift special, every moment matter, and every dollar count. So now's the time to get the sweater that hugs you back, bake the cookies that melt your heart, rock the looks that make a statement, give the gift that pops the question, and cherish the morning you'll always remember. For all the ways you celebrate, JCPenney, make your holidays count.
Lunch?
Yes, please.
That'll be $23.
Your ad says it's free.
It is for our Economy Ultimate passengers who paid extra.
I'll just have water.
Okay, cash or card?
For water?
Well, at AT&T, when we offer you our best iPhone deals, we guarantee it. Even on the new iPhone 15 Pro. Check it out, made with titanium.
We do have free movies with the purchase of headphones.
I'll just use my iPhone.
Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on any iPhone with any popular plan. Guaranteed. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us.
Welcome back into the MLS wrap-up. 2 games in the books tonight. Orlando taking on Nashville. That one ended in a 1-0 performance for Orlando City. And the second game rounding out our evening, it was the Seattle Sounders hosting FC Dallas. The big storyline, will Raul Ruidiaz get the start in that number 9, or would it be Jordan Morris playing in that number 9 role? But it started off with a huge injury and a huge loss for FC Dallas. You can see Velasco going down here.
Alan Velasco, worse for wear on this collision with Alex Roldan, would have to leave the game with an injury. We don't have any news on that for you yet, but you see him go down bottom of the screen. Took an elbow in the nose, but it might have been a lower body issue for Velasco. But the number 10 out, that's an issue for FC Dallas, Brad.
A big issue, but Paxton Pomykal didn't mind. He was fabulous all night. High press on Seattle and creating a chance for Jesus Ferreira. He has to bury that one.
Well, you guys spoke about the supporting cast having to step up in order to support someone like Jesus Ferreira. In order to keep him more central, Bradley, that one that will be haunting you in your dreams tonight. But FC Dallas continued on the front foot here, winning this in the middle of the pitch.
And Kaylin, he gets another chance. And this is an area where you see Ferreira, and he's normally so clinical, always picks the right finish. He just lost a little bit of composure. The ball hops up and skies it over the bar. Disappointing finishing by Ferreira.
And historically, when you give the Seattle Sounders a little bit of an opening in the MLS Cup playoffs, they generally take it. And here come the Sounders. Alex Roldan cutting it back inside. Great save, Martin Paz coming back, that right hand down low to keep the ball out.
And brilliant number 9 work from Jordan Morris here. I thought he was fabulous all night. He was energetic, caused problems, and sets up a lovely play here. Good save by Paz.
Speaking of Roldans, Christian Roldan understands he has a step on Marco Farfan. A little step by, yeah, and then gets the left foot across, knowing that the Dallas defender is going to try to challenge for that exposed ball. Roldan gets the call. It's a strength too, Brad. Look how strong he is.
This is very much, if you look at for Vancouver with Richie Larea, this is Richie Larea's bread and butter, and he exactly goes down at the right spot. This one would go to the spot, and it was Jordan Morris who steps up.
Albert Rusnak, in fact. Low and to the left, off the post.
And that will show you it's a great penalty because Price gets a hand to it, but it's so far in the corner and too much power on it, it's hard to save the penalty.
Guys, I'm jumping too far ahead. I'm predicting the future here on MLS Wrap-Up because Jordan Morris, yes, he may have not scored from the spot, but he did get himself on the goal-scoring sheet.
And again, look where Jordan Morris is. You see him just occupying the center spot. He doesn't need to be moving right now. He wants to see how the play develops. And now he's taking a chance, making a run into the box.
Woo!
Gets his head behind it. It's great striker play.
Hey, credit to Jordan Morris, but watch Nuhu here, combining on the left-hand side. Nico Ladero says, yep, I see you. Nice little slip pass. And then the quality of the service, perfect. Bending ball to the head of Jordan Morris. He can't help but put the ball in the back of the net with that service.
Jordan Morris getting his goal in the first game of the playoffs, and Seattle Sounders take this game 2-0 at home. They will now travel to FC Dallas next game. And these are some of the stats from this one. And similar story to our first game of the night. 20 shots for the Seattle Sounders, 7 of those being on target, 2 of them being in the back of the net. And we caught up with Stephen Fry post-game, his 12th postseason shutout.
Talking about the subs, quite a luxury to be able to turn to Nico Ladero and Raul Ruidiaz off the bench.
Stephen, it's been a long season dating back all the way to February. A lot of ups and downs for the Sounders. But right now, at this moment, how good do you feel about where this team is?
I feel good. It's, 10 undefeated. So we're clicking. We're clicking at the right time. We're very strong. I feel like we're very much together, pushing all in the same direction. We're all on the same train, and that's what it's going to take. Even I think the subs coming in today really hungry, trying to make a difference, and that's what it's going to take. Very, very happy with the performance today.
In Seattle, when they took the lead in the regular season, they went 12-1-4. And Seattle Sounders, they always step up in the right moments at the right time.
I spoke about this before the show. This is what we come to expect from Seattle. They get hot at the right time, and then when they get there, they're clinical. Dallas had some chances, they didn't take them, they were punched in the face, punished. And this is what you can expect to see from Seattle throughout the playoffs.
There's a gap in experience in the Western Conference. LAFC have it, won MLS Cup last year. Seattle Sounders darn sure have it, and they showed it in this match. When Dallas wasted their opportunities, the Sounders got a goal, scrappily so, Christian Roldan getting it done with the penalty, but then they stepped on the ball and they said, Dallas, we're not going to give you any opportunities. All your chances came from us giving you the ball. Come and get it. Get it off of us. Never happened, and Seattle coasted the rest of the way.
Professional performance.
Brian Schmetzer has kept with this lineup with Jordan Morris as that target man, as the number 9, over Raul Ruiz-Diaz. Do you guys like this tactical adjustment that he's done rather than putting Jordan Morris on the wing?
He had to do it. Raul Ruiz-Diaz has not been available enough, and when he has been available, he hasn't scored the goals that they needed. Now, good news, Ruiz-Diaz back into the game, 82nd minute, comes on as a substitute. Brian Schmetzer understands the playoffs. Just because Raul Ruiz-Diaz isn't in form now doesn't mean he won't be when you get to the conference semifinals. And I'm saying right now, Seattle Sounders are going to the conference semifinals.
I would agree with that, but I'd also say this. If you have 2 strikers, both Raul Ruiz-Diaz and Jordan Morris, they're both not scoring. Who do you want on the pitch? Who's going to cause problems? It's Jordan Morris. He's going to run the defense ragged. He's going to fight all game, and you have to bank on that.
A huge loss for FC Dallas in this game, though, was Alan Velasco going down with that injury. Do you feel like that was a momentum shift in Seattle's favor?
Yes, the bigger momentum shift, however, were the 2 misses, but this really, really hurts FC Dallas's ability to come back home and win an all-important second game. It's now do or die for Dallas in Frisco. And this is an unfortunate moment for a young guy who's had such a up and down season, let's say, for FC Dallas. To go out in the first playoff game for your team on the road, have to exit with injury. Brad, you can just see how much it hurts him.
Yeah, the kid's distraught, and you got to feel sorry for him. And then I look at this man coming on your screen next and how that Velasco loss is going to affect Jesus Ferreira.
Well, this was the conversation leading into this game, the supporting cast in and around Jesus Ferreira in order to keep him a little bit more centrally. Now, he did stay more centrally, but you got to finish these opportunities, Bradley.
You have to, especially in a place like Seattle, when you get this chance. And like I said before, this is a man that's normally very comfortable in front of goal. But the first one, I want to see him lift that. Just have a bit more composure, and then here completely fluffs his lines, skies it over the bar. But there are 2 big chances in a playoff game you have to take.
Here's a stat for you. FC Dallas have won 1 game all season long when Jesus Ferreira doesn't score. That game was on decision day. Jesus Ferreira had every opportunity to put them up 2-0 in Seattle. Dallas have one of the best defenses in the Western Conference. If they get a lead with Seattle's issue creating chances, this game's a completely different story.
Brian Schmetzer, though, 16 career wins in the postseason, the most of all time in Major League Soccer. How can FC Dallas take this into the second match and maybe perform or get a win?
They need to find confidence from the chances they did create in this game. But now when they get those chances, they have to be put into the back of the net. Otherwise, it's going to look more and more like tonight did.
Problem for them, João Paulo's not going to give the ball away in the middle of the park on the road. Seattle Sounders are too smart, too professional, as you said earlier, to give away opportunities to a Dallas team they know is not sharp in front of goal. Unfortunately for Dallas, they've dug themselves a hole. I don't see any easy way out of it.
Well, the second game is just around the corner. Seattle Sounders will travel to FC Dallas, the best of 3 series. The second match happening Saturday, November 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on MLS Season Pass. All right, well, don't go anywhere because when we return, we have Columbus taking on Atlanta this Wednesday. But Atlanta will be without Thiago Almada, the World Cup winner. And Columbus will look to Cucho Hernandez to lead Columbus.
Finding the right hotel just got easier. Compare and book on the app with Hotels.com.
Monarch was there in San Francisco, taking pictures like they'd been waiting for it.
It's not just designed to look good. It's built to command attention. It's not just a comfortable interior. It's a quiet refuge. They're not just headlights. They light the way forward. The new fully electric Audi Q8 e-tron models.
Presented by J.C. Penney. Gentlemen, we got to give it to Orlando because of this Cartagena goal.
Absolutely. What a banger. What a moment for a guy not accustomed to scoring, let alone scoring goals like these. The first regulation playoff win in Orlando history.
The players have a way of finding heroes that are not supposed to be heroes, and tonight was one of those nights. It's a great finish. Unbelievable. One you'll remember forever.
Well, Orlando taking the win at home. A look at our bracket. Cincinnati going 3-0 over the New York Red Bulls. Philly 3-1 over New England. Columbus, Atlanta, that one happening this Wednesday, the final game of the first of best three. Orlando 1-0 over Nashville. Big game this Wednesday, gentlemen. Columbus, Atlanta United, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, rounding out our first match, the best of three series. You're not going to want to miss it here. Atlanta, though, will be without Thiago Almada. All right, well, someone that is missing this game is Thiago Almada, like I just alluded to. Goals 11, free kicks 3, assists 19 is just the key component for this Atlanta side. What did
Almada being out is a chance for now Atlanta to play a bit more defensive.
Yeah.
We know they're exciting to watch. They're going to get you goals, but they're also susceptible on the
That's their
counter.
weakness, right?
So now if they put a holding midfielder in there, another one, shore things up, then they can hit them on the break, like you're saying.
Well, the reason why Thiago Almada was out was 2 yellow cards on that decision day, which ultimately led to the red card. So a huge loss for Atlanta United. On the flip side, though, and this is the Almada red card with the 2 yellows that led to that red
It's
card.
silly yellow cards. It's Almada here in the middle of the park. What are you doing? Sticking a leg out to stop an attack that isn't dangerous at that moment. Gets the handshake, takes the yellow, and that's where you have to think, Bradley. I can't do anything silly. And right of your screen here, little bump from Gerson Mosquera, he kicks him.
You know you're already on a yellow. And to be fair to him, it's a player that doesn't normally get bookings. He's not a physical. He's not asked to do anything physical, go and work and get the ball back. So once he gets the first yellow, he should be experienced enough. This is a World Cup winner to know not to get that second yellow card.
All right, well, someone that is going to need to step up for this Atlanta United side to lead that front line is Giakoumakis. How does his role differ, though, when he doesn't have the service from Almada?
Because the play will be going more direct, he's going to have to do what he's comfortable doing, that's hold up the ball. They're going to have to play a different way, and he's going to have to be the man to hold it up, link play, and then get himself in the box.
It will be a little bit different. There is going to be service. Brooks Lennon, you see, taking this corner kick and getting forward on the right. Caleb Wiley, perhaps, on the left. Both those guys early balls into the box, find these moments for Giakoumakis, and then Xande Silva and Lobojanice.
But look,
2 wingers in the summer that can change the game.
And you talk about the 2 wingers, it's ideal for a striker of Giakoumakis' profile. This is a man that is deadly around the box, getting in front of defenders and doing anything to get a toe, stomach, knee in the last play on the ball. Real out-and-out striker.
I think the one thing that's exciting about this game, we know that there's going to be goal. Cucho Hernandez on the flip side with Columbus, and someone like a Diego Rossi as well.
Cucho's a little bit different than Giakoumakis. He can be that pure goal scorer, but he can also be the assist man. And once Lucas Zelarayan left Bradley, Cucho said, everybody out the way, this is my team.
And this is one criticism I had of Cucho. He was doing too much of his work outside of the 18. But that first goal that you just saw, and this here, he's in the 18-yard box. We know you can score the banger from outside the area, that we're going to see in a minute. But these are the ones that get you up that goal-scoring chart or get you goals in a tight match. And Cucho's been doing that of late.
Crew will have the ball in around the 18-yard box. Cucho could be the difference maker. Diego Rossi could be the difference maker. The challenge for Atlanta is the Crew are full of those players. They're one of the best goal-scoring teams in the league.
Who do you have taking the first game?
Crew. No doubt.
Ooh,
At
the
home,
Crew.
come on now.
Bradley, come on.
Crew.
With Almada out? Oh, come on now.
All right, well, let's take a look at the full fixtures right now as they stand. Orlando City, a 1-0 win over Nashville earlier today, and Seattle Sounders claiming a 2-0 victory over FC Dallas. And the Wednesday game, Columbus Crew taking on Atlanta United.
Messi is as big as it gets. He's one of the greatest players in the world.
Mi felicidad siempre fue jugar al fútbol. Y lo puedo seguir haciendo acá.
Regarded as the best player in the world, Lionel Messi has claimed 44 trophies and is coming off a World Cup win with Argentina. 7-time Ballon d'Or winner looks to go for his 8th over in Paris to further cement his name in history, along with some all-time greats.
The 2023 Ballon d'Or France footballer is Lionel Messi.
I just got to say, gentlemen, how many former MLS players can we get on the stage at the Ballon d'Or? Former MLS players Didier Drogba from Montreal and David Beckham from the Galaxy, along with Lionel Messi. But these accolades speak for themselves. Won the World Cup, then won the Golden Boot for Best Player at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. The second oldest player to win this award at 36 years young. The man is aging like a fine wine. And like, you look at him and you look what he's done for soccer, both on and off the pitch. Bradley, a former player, what has this man done for your career?
For my career, nothing. I needed to play with him. Tata, if you want to get me out of retirement, I'm here. But just on the pitch, it's unbelievable. The consistency and the level he's playing at, under the pressure he's under. This is a World Cup winner now. There's no arguments. This is a thoroughly deserved Ballon d'Or winner.
What Lionel Messi has done in his career, but also in the last year, is otherworldly. 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, but that's not the whole story. 5-time runner-up. So in a 2-decade career, 13 years, you're the best player or the second best player, and probably more than that if we're being honest about his impact on the game. What strikes me is the way that Brad talks about him and his peers talk about Lionel Messi. It's immense respect, but it's also awe, a sense of, wait, we're at the top of this game, and we don't know how you are doing this. You're defying time, logic, and we can't explain it. So Messi, he just lives in our imagination. Think of something, anything. He can do it, and he makes it look good.
He is like a dream. It's like watching a FIFA game that you play against your kids. It's not real. But what is he going to do for the landscape of North American soccer right here in our own backyard?
Well, first of all, he's going to shut up the haters that call it a retirement league. You can't call it a retirement league when a player's coming with a Ballon d'Or, a World Cup, comes here, wins a League Cup. This man's ready to play. He's got more in the tank. So exciting for the country and the home.
What can Lionel Messi do with some personal freedom, with a lifestyle he's never experienced before as a pro, with a smile on his face? We found out in Leagues Cup, scoring bangers, looking at his kids, passing messages around. Watch out, MLS in 2024. He's about to get everything, if I had to guess.
I have the best Halloween outfit idea for you.
What do you think?
His bodyguard.
It's been done. It's been done.
That is Robert Taylor beat us to the punch on that one. I feel like you'd still be pretty good. For myself, Bradley Wright Phillips, Andrew Weavy, and Kaylin Kyle, thank you guys so much for joining us here on MLS Wrap. Much more games coming up. The last one heading out on Wednesday, the first of 3 series. So make sure you join us here. We got the pregame coverage and followed by the game. Ciao, ciao.